We will keep you updated. Going to talk to Major Garrett about that soon.
And it rained last night.
Bro.
I'm so sorry. That's why I laughed.
And the Cardinals beat the Twins last night.
No, wait.
No, we're moving on from that.
No,
we're moving on.
I have to tell the people an important thing.
Oh, my God.
It rained last night, and there's some flooding, and of course, we have been looking back at the 30th anniversary of the flood of 93, and we've said we're going to talk about it, and we haven't.
We're going to talk about it.
We are. In the next segment, Stuart McMillan's coming in. We've got some great audio from interviews at the time, and we will talk about the flood of 93 next.
Okay. Cardinals beat the Twins. They are underway in their new era. Without Jack Flaherty and without Jordan Hicks and Jordan Montgomery, Matt Pauley will join us on the show today. Also, we are going to visit with presidential hopeful Larry Elder.
Doesn't he use a pain cream?
Oh, Relief Factor?
Relief Factor.
We're going to ask him about it?
He should.
I'm not going to ask him about Relief Factor. I never dreamed that I could have pain one day. You didn't?
I know, because there's a slightly tone deaf. I shouldn't be. Okay, we're having him on.
Yeah.
It's just a little tone deaf in the commercial that he said, I didn't realize pain could affect people's lives until I had
pain. But
pain.
So does Sebastian Gorka.
Oh, is he the one that says it?
They both say it. It's like the script. It's part of the whatever.
I wouldn't say that, though, because, one, we've all experienced pain, and I would think a little empathy would be good. At any rate, we will be talking to Larry Elder.
He is running for president. I think none of us are under the illusion that he or Governor Christie or Nikki Haley or Vivek has any real opportunity of winning the nomination for president for the Republican Party. But so I'm always curious to know what the mindset is. Is it something beyond, hey, I just want to keep my name out there for a while? I can use this for, anytime I think you're getting attention is probably a good thing, depending on the kind of attention. And in some cases, the bad attention is even good for you. It even bolsters your standing. So other than I'm using this because I'm going to make a book deal one day, or I just don't want you to forget about me, or whatever, are there real ideas? Do you really think you can help? Are you looking for a place in the next administration? If a Republican ends up winning, what exactly is the motivation? And I'm always curious to know. So we're going to talk to Larry Elder, see what his ideas are. And that will be at 12:30 today here on KMOX. Amy, you're always getting us off to a good start. I'll tell you that.
I know.
Every single time. Every single time. This is not, and we spent a lot of time talking about it yesterday, and we will visit with Major at the bottom of the hour and get his impression of what will be happening in Washington, D.C. It's a madhouse already. They've got gates up, security gates. They have used, I want to say bulldozer, but that's not the word I'm looking for. The plow trucks. They have got plow trucks blocking streets in certain areas near the courthouse, just in case something happens. I don't imagine anything odd will happen outside the courthouse today. I think that kind of stuff is nothing to worry about. It didn't happen in Florida. It's not going to happen here. I can't imagine that's a thing.
Yeah, and Major Garrett said on the CBS News this morning that there is a private entrance to the courthouse in D.C. that
like a tunnel.
Yeah, high-profile people have used in the past, and he said he doesn't expect it to be any different. He doesn't think there's going to be a sighting of Trump going into the courthouse. I guess there's a chance that Trump would want that if he saw a bunch of supporters, but especially, I'm not anticipating any disturbances around the courthouse, but especially if you can't see Trump.
Yeah.
If you don't see him going into the courthouse, it's hard to get that emotional momentum to rile people up when you're just waiting, you're just standing outside on a street.
I can't imagine what the next thing would be that would rile them up to the point where there's rioting or there's any kind of violence or destruction or anything to that extent. And maybe it's if he is convicted on something down the road. Maybe something happens then. I kind of don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that position.
No.
People should suffer consequences for whatever crimes they have committed. And it is going to be difficult, I imagine, for the United States to prove all of these things, depending on what the witnesses are like, depending on, for example, what Mike Pence does when he testifies. And it is likely he is going to testify. That is an example. If he says, hey, this guy directly told me to do something, we specifically told him, hey, man, the election is over, you've lost, and he knew it, and he still directed us or tried to get us to do A, B, or C. If that happens, then he could be in trouble.
Yeah.
What happens after that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be convicted. You look at the Mar-a-Lago case, it's much more concrete, and it's actually, in the definition of the word, it's much more concrete. You have the boxes, you have the pictures. This is abstract, right?
This will rely on testimony, which is evidence. Testimony is evidence.
But it's different. It's more difficult to prove criminal intent, because remember, the defense doesn't have to prove that Trump was innocent. You don't have to prove innocence. The burden of proof is on the prosecution, and they have to prove criminal intent. The defense does not have to prove that Trump was innocent.
Well, what they have to prove is that he knew the election was fair and that he lost. I think
the thing is, it's beyond that, and then took criminal action, because he has a First Amendment right to lie. All politicians lie.
Yeah, but you can't lie and ask somebody to commit a crime for you.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. It's the criminal action. If he stood up there and just said everything he said without asking people to take action, criminal action, there's no case.
But the issue is, if you direct the Secretary of State of Arizona to bring in new electors, or if you tell Raffensperger in Georgia to find him 11,780 votes, which would have been one more than he needed to win that state, that I don't know if that borders on criminal activity. I think that actually is.
I don't know.
So if he does that under the illusion that he actually won and he really, truly in his heart believed he won the election, then it'll be a difficult case. But if they can prove that he was very clearly aware, because he had advisors and people around him telling him, hey, man, there's no avenue here. It's over. It's over. You lost.
We've talked about how Congress doesn't do its job anymore, which is why we're seeing the expansion and the bloating of powers of the executive branch, why you have pen and phone presidencies, why you have presidents unilaterally putting the United States into international agreements and committees, or unilaterally taking them out of them, like the Paris Accords. When you don't have the constitutional processes in place, which are heavy and tedious and cumbersome, then what you have is you have an executive branch that becomes even more politicized. You have more emphasis on the president, because with whatever his party's whims are, he or she can, or she one day can decide, okay, this is the direction the country is going. Why do I bring up Congress's failings? Because here's the thing. When you read this indictment with Donald Trump, it is outrageous. It is ridiculous. It's infuriating what he said and did. But outrageous and ridiculous are not necessarily criminal. They are impeachable. And the U.S. Congress had an opportunity in the 24 hours following January 6th to impeach Donald Trump for negligence in a time of chaos in the country when the Capitol was under siege, and he was he proved to be not the commander-in-chief, but someone who was in dereliction of duty. You can impeach for that. You can impeach a president if he decides to eat cat food every day, because it shows he's not in sound mind. It's not criminal to eat cat food every day, but it's impeachable.
And we're talking about court here. Yes.
Yes, and that's why this it should never have gotten this far. Congress, Nancy Pelosi, the Senate, they should have impeached Trump within that 24 hours after January 6th. They didn't. And once they didn't, it sealed the deal that this would be dragged out and become even more political. Remember the statements of Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy in the hours following January 6th?
Well, they all changed their minds down the road, but in the moment, they were pretty upset. They should have stuck with that. That's Amy Marks Course. I'm Chris Ranji. This week, 30 years ago, the Great Flood of 93, Stuart McMillan from the newsroom going to come in, has some sound for us next on KMOX.
Two ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 1120 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neovitin Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neovitin Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Dearbergs.
If your stunning home has gone a little stale, it might be time to contact your local CertaPro painters. We bring the power of pro to every job. That's CertaPro's power to do the job right, the first time, every time, and the power to renovate your home without breaking down walls. Take your home from blah to booyah. Get on CertaPro's schedule today at CertaPro.com. The power of pro. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
How would it feel to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds or more? This is Debbie Monterey, and I can tell you, thanks to St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, it feels great. I lost 20 pounds in the first 30 days on the St. Louis Weight Loss Secret program, and I've lost more than 30 pounds in 60 days. I'm just trying to lose a few more pounds because it feels fantastic. My clothes fit better. My knees and my ankles feel better. I just feel great. And you can do this with the help of St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. You're eating real food. You don't have to buy food or tons of supplements or do hypnosis or injections. None of that. You're eating real food that helps to speed up your metabolism. It is amazing to watch the pounds fall off. Results may vary, but many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. And that is what happened with me. To get your free private weight loss consultation, just call 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. We got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff. Yeah.
Great. And we have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here it goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll absolutely guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight from the mine. We have cutters and hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationships with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Work or play, KMOX is right there with you. We go where you go.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. We are here again, as we mentioned before we went to break. It is the 30-year anniversary of the Great Flood of 1993. It happened, well, a couple of days ago was the actual date of the beginning of the flooding. And with us now in studio is Stuart McMillan, KMOX Newsroom, and you've done a really nice piece on this.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah. Appreciate it.
So we were, I mean, I was here for it. Amy was here for it in town. I remember it vividly. I was in high school when it all went down, and people volunteering to go sandbag different areas around St. Louis. It was just a very wild time.
Yeah, we've covered many angles of the flood of '93 from a 30-year perspective. Starting on Monday, we did the cause of the flood. We did the Cliff Cave tragedy, where there were 6 people, 4 young men and 2 counselors who died in Cliff Cave there. Also, the propane tank farm crisis, where there were propane tanks being flooded, and that was scary. And then the saving of the St. Louis flood wall, where the sheet pile at the bottom was not there when it should have been there, and there were leaks all over the place. It's like somebody took a drill and was just drilling holes into the side of it. So that was all Monday and Tuesday, and then we talked about the National Weather Service and how the Great Flood changed meteorology. The levee fails, of course, just yesterday and today, Valmeyer and Prairie du Rocher, how those towns were destroyed, how Chesterfield was impacted, Spirit Airport, the saving of Kimmswick, which was like the only town along the Mississippi, one of the only towns to be saved by their levee that they put up with sandbugs. They said they got up to 49.9.
Wow.
And it was 50.
Wow.
And at that point, like, inches matter when you're
Yes.
talking about a
Yeah.
flood. Can we go back to, because I've been listening to this series all week. It's so good. But how the flood changed meteorology. How did it change meteorology?
Yeah, that's a great question. There were a lot of new technology that had just been installed, which is pretty miraculous. Right before all this flood happened in 1993, the St. Louis office from the National Weather Service completely had like an overhaul. They moved to a new building. They had a new radar system, and that helped a lot with forecasting and things, but it was still really outdated. But the storms were coming so fast that they were naming the storms. I mean,
wow.
like hurricanes.
Yeah.
That's how many these big thunderstorms they had coming through. But during that process, it's how numbers were attributed to the rising of floodwaters. It changed. The hydrologists and how they look at the numbers changed. More data, more they weren't even forecast. They were brave enough to forecast some rain totals that were upcoming, but they didn't have the tech then like they do now, which is pretty miraculous. You would think, what do you mean they didn't have that tech? But it's just true. There were only 9 places in the whole country where you could get forecasting like that.
Wow.
And so the National Weather Service is going to be on Total Information PM coming up just yet, and they're going to talk more about that process on how that happened.
Stuart, let's hear some of the piece that you did, which was outstanding work.
Yeah, so talking about the Cliff Cave tragedy, the 4 young men, 2 counselors from the St. Joseph's Home for Boys died in the flash flood. Only 1 survived. And KMOX, I looked back through all the archives. We didn't cover this in great depth in talking about the rescuers and things. So I was able to get a hold of one of the certified cave divers that went in and answered the call for help as young Gary Marr, 13 at the time, hung on nearly 18 hours in the darkness of the cave while authorities thought he was dead.
Shortly after I returned home from work, because we had a torrential rain that afternoon, on my answering machine, I had a message. And it basically said, we have a situation at Cliff Cave, get your gear and come on down. Oh gosh, there was a ton of people searching and searching and searching.
On Saturday, July 24th, 1993, the morning after the explorers went into Cliff Cave, the mission was not one of rescue.
We did not expect any survivors. We went in there strictly on a body recovery mission.
The task before them was difficult, deep underwater, having to lift the bodies of young people to the surface and out of the cave.
It's extremely small passage. I mean, we're talking less than 12 inches high, a couple feet wide. You're on your belly just kind of grunting and groaning through there. It was Bob, myself, Mitch Fassler from the Melville Fire Department, and Steve Every.
A sound came from deep in the cave.
We all said, hey, be quiet. And then we heard him again yelling help.
It was 13-year-old Gary Marr, still clinging for dear life.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty resourceful because that water was almost up to the ceiling, but he found like a little bell in the ceiling where he could kind of stick his head up there and still breathe. And he spent the whole night like that. And one thing that helped him a lot is that storm water was still fairly warm. So it wasn't like the 58-degree water, which he would have succumbed to hypothermia very quick.
How was Gary when you first reached him?
He was still shivering cold. I think he'd lost his shirt. So we put basically like a heat tent made out of aluminum foil. And then we put several candles and carbide lights underneath it to help warm him up so we could get him to move. And we gave him some, we call it Gorp. It's an energy food that we kind of make up ourselves. Give him some of that to eat, some good water. Try to get his strength up enough to where we could get him out of that passage. And then at that point, Matt Marciano and his brother Tom, they kind of took over and we got him out the side entrance. Chief Palmer, I believe, was there with other rescuers from the fire department. And they had a helicopter waiting, right on top of the hill. And they got him up to that helicopter in time, to get him to the hospital and get him taken care of.
Wow, that is really unbelievable. Very good work by you. The entire thing, and it's
yeah, that was only a clip of it.
That's only a little part of it. It is on our website, KMOX.com. It's
Total
on the
Information
Odyssey
AM podcast as well.
Total Information AM. Find the podcast there, and it's there. Good work, Stu.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. That's Stuart McMillan from the newsroom. We are going to talk to Major Garrett, Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News. There is an arraignment today. You may have heard about it. He'll talk to us about that next on KMOX.
Over 30 years ago, it was that can-do spirit which helped the founder of Reinhold Flooring start the business, installing Reinhold quality carpet and beautiful flooring himself. Now, Reinhold Flooring is still family-owned and operated and winning St. Louis Magazine's Best Flooring Store 2 years in a row. With Reinhold Flooring, it's not about the sale, it's about the amazing floor to perfectly match your house and your life. Customer-driven since day one. Visit ReinholdFlooring.com. With so many ideas you can do it with a can-do crew at Reinhold Flooring. ReinholdFlooring.com.
It is 10:29. The time check brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Manchester Coin and Jewelry is the estate buyers. From fine jewelry to costume jewelry, watches, working or not, on Manchester Road west of 141. It's Manchester Coin and Jewelry, the estate buyers.
Scrubbles is now scrubbing in St. Louis, with 2 locations now open and 9 more scrubbing soon. Our starting lineup of locations are the best in the biz. Come see our state-of-the-art car wash and see why Scrubbles is now batting cleanup in the St. Louis lineup. We prep wash and everything you need to clean your car is included. We have great monthly memberships. Visit us at Salt Lick Road or Mexico Road and see why Scrubbles is batting cleanup for St. Louis.
At 10:30, it's cloudy and 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. Law enforcement officials are ramping up security outside the Washington, D.C. federal courthouse where Donald Trump is due to answer charges. He tried to overturn his 2020 presidential election loss. Lizzo is speaking out after damaging allegations from several of her former backup dancers.
It's been a tough week for singer Lizzo as 3 of her backup dancers have filed a lawsuit claiming she created a hostile work environment. Lizzo has spoken out on her Instagram, calling the charges sensationalized stories, saying that they are too outrageous not to be addressed. The suit contains 9 charges, including racial, sexual, and religious harassment. They also claim that the singer fat shamed them for their weight. Jen Clark, CBS News.
Twins at Cardinals tonight, 6:45 on KMOX. Yesterday, the Cards won 7-3. Cardinal Report is sponsored by Aloha Pools USA. Swim next summer, alohapoolsusa.com. Taking a look at the roads. Got some moving road work on 6440 going east at 159. That's in the left lane, Illinois 159 at 6440 east. And this afternoon, shower in spots early, otherwise humid with clouds breaking eventually for some sun and a high of 86. Increasing clouds overnight, muggy with a shower thunderstorm, low 75. For tomorrow, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm in spots and a high of 89. At the moment, clouds 78 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Brought to you by SC Johnson Off.
Off Clean Feel, so I can accessorize with studs and not with mosquitoes. I can wear my classic white crop and flag panel jeans and know that I'm covered with 8 hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. Get your pre-party protection on with Off Clean Feel. SC Johnson.
Hi, my name is PJ Vogt. I host the podcast Search Engine, where every week I hunt down the answers to the questions I can't get out of my head. Like, why are drug dealers poisoning their customers with fentanyl? Or, is my local sushi restaurant a part of an international scam? Or, how sad are the monkeys at the zoo? If you, like me, find this world bewildering, but also sometimes enjoy being bewildered by it, check out the show on the Odyssey app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you listen.
Broadcasting from the underlying Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. AM radio provides always-on news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports. It also delivers vital emergency information when your community needs it most. A new bill in Congress would ensure AM radio stays in your car, because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service is critical. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM radio for every vehicle act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOS.
Get ready for the Cards and Twins tonight. Amblin Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Amy Marks scores. Chris Ranji on KMOX. It is August 3rd. We've got an arraignment today happening in Washington, D.C., and who better to talk about that with us than Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News, Major Garrett, who joins us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. And you can catch Major's book at all the bookstores, Amazon. You can get it there too. He is the author of The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie, and the host of the Takeout podcast. Major, what's happening this morning? Anything?
Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, I'm in a vehicle right now heading to the D.C. courthouse. So in a minute, I'll be getting out of that vehicle, walking over to a live shot position near the federal courthouse, where today's processing of the former president, Donald Trump, will occur. I'm traveling with my producer, Arden Fari, a proud Washington University graduate, by the way. And we'll be at the courthouse all day to take in this moment of American history.
Do we have any expectations about former President Trump's, what he'll have to say, what he'll do at this arraignment?
Well, we do know what will happen. It's a processing and arraignment. He'll enter a plea of not guilty. He will have digital fingerprints taken. The U.S. Marshals will escort him in and out of the federal courthouse in Secret Service detail, which will bring him there and take him out. He will come here from Bedminster, New Jersey, and go back to Bedminster, New Jersey. There's always a possibility with former President Trump that he'll make remarks on his own behalf, either when he gets off the plane here in Washington, D.C., which will be his private plane, of course, or maybe before he boards, head back to Bedminster, New Hampshire. We're preparing for that. We don't know for sure, but it's always a possibility. And the processing will be as it has been for every other January 6th defendant. And there have been many that have gone through this particular courthouse, more than 1,000. By our count here at CBS, that is to say the former president will be the 1,067th defendant to be processed in this federal courthouse in charges related to events on January 6th.
So in looking through the indictment, knowing what we know based on reporting, based on the indictment itself, the evidence or the supposed evidence that we have heard about so far, as you look at all of this, and I know you've been covering it, you've been paying very close attention to it. How difficult is it? What is the burden going to be for the prosecution to prove all of these charges?
So the prosecution has made a very specific case. There were lots of other charges that could have been leveled. They were not. It's about obstructing a congressional proceeding. That happened, of course. It's about a conspiracy to do that and to defraud people of their right to vote and have their vote counted and certified, which the prosecution alleges that was the entire goal of delaying the congressional proceeding, meaning the certification of the electoral votes, to disenfranchise people and take a legally and properly cast ballot out of their hands by nullifying those results through state legislatures. So those are the charges. The burden for the prosecution is that the president wasn't just talking about this, but that he was, in fact, taking actions specifically related to this effort. And those actions, under the color of his power as president of the United States, made it a crime. It wasn't just talking, it was doing. And the act of doing creates chargeable offenses, at least according to the prosecution. That's what it's going to have to prove when this case gets to court. And I guarantee you, this case is going to go to court.
Yeah, Major, and the burden that's on the prosecution is heavier than it could have been if we were looking at impeachment proceedings right after January 6th versus criminal proceedings long after, because reading the indictment, something can be outrageous and infuriating and impeachable, but not necessarily criminal.
Right. Yes, impeachment is a political process. And the judge and jury are political actors who have to take into account not only their vote, but the political ramifications of that vote. Criminal proceeding is done by facts and law and process. And all of that will be tested once this case comes to court, probably sometime next year. I've talked to several people who are familiar with these kinds of cases. Not necessarily that we've had a case like this ever before with a defendant of this prominence, but probably 10 or 11 months from now. And so in an impeachment case, and we should remind ourselves, the impeachment case before the Senate was one question and one question only. Did the former president incite the riot? That was the question. This is a much broader set of charges. A much broader set of charges. You can hear the activity around the federal courthouse now. I can tell you there are several pro-Trump signs. There are quite a few reporters here, as you might expect. Lots of satellite trucks, and the process has already begun in terms of the atmosphere around the federal courthouse here in Washington, D.C.
And just to follow up on that, has there been any talk on the Hill about Congress missing its chance to take care of this and impeach the president in the hours following January 6th?
Well, certainly that was the topic in the corridors during that impeachment trial, and 7 Republicans joined the Democrats, the largest bipartisan majority to convict a president in a century. So that was a part of the conversation. Do you want to deal with this now? But the determination was, no, we'll let this play out in other venues with other actors. And you might remember the Senate Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, said the president is morally responsible for what happened on January 6th. And he said he may have to face other legal ramifications, civil or criminal. So we're at the criminal stage now.
We were talking, and I think I briefly mentioned Mike Pence potentially being a witness here in this, and his tone, it sounds lately, has been a little more direct in how he feels about what took place in and around January 6th or on and around January 6th. How big of a witness will he ultimately be for the U.S.?
That's going to be a determination made by the prosecution, but clearly he was an important witness in the development of the indictment. His contemporaneous notes are cited, and direct testimony from him about what the president said to him in those moments leading up to January 6th are listed in the indictment. And since the indictment has been released, the former vice president has been much more vocal and much more direct, as if this indictment has liberated him in some certain respect, that he didn't want to get ahead of the indictment or any proceedings that might happen in a criminal document of this nature. Now that it's now public, the former vice president is no longer sort of ambivalent about what he was being asked to do and the implications of it. So what political effect that will have, that will be up to the caucus voters in Iowa and the primary voters in New Hampshire and South Carolina and elsewhere. But clearly the former vice president, now that this indictment is out, is basically saying forcefully what he told the special counsel and the prosecution team while he was being deposed.
Major, do you feel that the significance and gravity of today's arraignment is somehow extenuated because there has been so much drama surrounding President Trump?
I think there's a very real possibility of that, and I hope it doesn't occur. Look, let me put it to you very simply. Some people looked at the indictment in New York and said, that's not much of a case. Even people who don't wish former President Trump well, some of them who don't like him at all, said that's a stretch of a case. That doesn't really look like something that a former president should be indicted on. But nevertheless, it happened. That created a circus-like atmosphere and all this intense media coverage. Then came the documents case. The documents case is real. The United States government has a long history of prosecuting the mishandling of documents. And clearly the president had them. There's no doubt about that. Clearly there was a formal ask by the government to get them back. He only half complied with that. And then according to the indictment, didn't deal honestly in describing what he still had. So that's a prosecutable crime, but people could say, well, wait a minute. The former vice president had some documents. Biden had some documents. Aren't they all kind of the same? They aren't, but they might feel the same. This is fundamentally different. What the question before the country about this particular case is, do we believe in counting votes accurately, having them certified, and having them protected? Yes or no? Do we believe in the peaceful transfer of power? Yes or no? Those are the two questions. And they are the two questions that lay at the heart of the furtherance of this magnificent American experiment. Full stop.
What sort of long-term damage do you believe, if any, has been done by everything that's transpired over the last 2+ years?
The former president, while president of the United States, began to attack the democratic process months before the election. And in September said he wasn't sure he would participate in a peaceful transfer of power. That goes to intent. And everything he did after the votes were counted, and he was clearly the loser and was told repeatedly by people he hired and were in positions of trust that he lost, he made a fundamental decision, a decision to lie to the country, saying he won when he knew he had lost, and used every instrument of the federal government, and then tried to pressure state legislatures to nullify results that were valid, certified, and verifiable. The damage for that will last for decades.
Major, just shifting quickly to Hunter Biden and more testimony coming out. Where do we stand with that entire situation?
So the testimony from Devon Archer, his business partner, was damning in that it did not comport with what the president has said. Never knew about any Hunter Biden business deals, never on any phone calls. Clearly he had some knowledge, and clearly he was on some call. But House Republicans said Devon Archer would give all this direct testimony about direct things that the president did with his son to create business arrangements. Devon Archer didn't say that. He said, well, basically Hunter Biden was trading on the family name, creating a brand, and creating the impression that he had all this clout, which probably didn't. And I wasn't there to see any deal getting done. So does it look like there was Hunter Biden over-representing his power, his influence on his father? Yes. Is that a prosecutable crime? Not according to the U.S. attorney, at least not yet. But it creates a political atmosphere that does not reinforce what the president has always said. Oh, I had no knowledge and no activity that was related to anything that my son was doing in the business world. Well, that's not true. So why was he being deceptive about that? Republicans say because he's got something to hide, but they have yet to uncover anything that is nearly as shocking or potentially criminal, or to use their word, corrupt, as they have over and over promised.
Is there any reason to think, Major, that if there's not real hard evidence here, that that the president had more knowledge of all of this and maybe was involved more directly to the point where it could become a problem, that the Department of Justice, that somebody will not go after him? I mean, there's no reason to think they will back off, right?
There's no reason to think they will back off, especially after the plea deal blew up in their face last week. And it's still a wide open avenue for the Attorney General to appoint a special counsel. And if you read the special counsel statute, many of the things that say these are the conditions under which a special counsel ought to be appointed, the Hunter Biden situation fulfills every single one of them. And as I was reminded by an attorney this week who's got a lifetime of experience in this particular form of Washington, D.C. Beltway law, he said even Roger Clinton, Bill Clinton's brother, had a special counsel assigned to him. And nothing about Roger Clinton approached the kind of allegations hovering over Hunter Biden. So that's still a possibility. It's an unresolved question if the Attorney General will do that. But as the U.S. Attorney in Delaware made fundamentally clear last week, this remains an open investigation, which means Hunter Biden is still subject to potential prosecution on other charges that may stem from these activities.
Who is on the takeout this week?
Well, we're taking a break from all of what we just talked about. The entire break. We are
People might need it.
adjacent. We are pop culture adjacent this week. So if you know anything about the movie Oppenheimer, if you've seen it, I'm interviewing a documentary filmmaker named Steve James. If you know anything about the movie Hoop Dreams, that's what he created.
Yeah.
He has a new documentary out about not only the development of the nuclear weapon at Los Alamos, all the scientists there, but an 18-year-old scientist who had just graduated with a physics degree from Harvard, who, this documentary makes explicitly clear, was the most damaging spy, giving secrets about the development of the hydrogen bomb to the Soviets years before anyone else was implicated in that. He's got a documentary. We talked to him about that. All those revelations in that case, that's this week on The Takeout.
What'd you think of Oppenheimer? You get a chance to see it?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm
All right.
going to see it Sunday afternoon after I guest host Face the Nation for Margaret Brennan.
Do they have one of those IMAX 70 millimeter showings theaters out there in DC?
Yes, they do. But I'm too old for IMAX.
Oh, come on. What does that mean?
You're not too old.
Sensory overload.
Oh.
Sensory overload.
Right. Yeah, you get enough to your senses, probably bombarded all the
I
time.
like that you're going to see it to relax after hosting Face the Nation.
Yes.
Man,
yes.
you're a pretty big deal, Major Garrett.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week.
That is Major Garrett with us. The Takeout podcast you can hear on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast, just like you can listen to this show when it's over.
It's so awesome. I'd be like, well, yeah, I'm going to the gallery tomorrow after
I need to relax.
After I host American Idol.
I need to relax too. Oh, what are you going to do? I'll watch a movie about the nuclear weapon that we built and then killed hundreds of thousands
After
of people
hosting
with it.
Face the Nation.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah, Major Garrett, Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, joins us every Thursday morning at 10:30. Again, Odyssey app, where you can listen to this show live and all the podcasts, and anything you missed, you can listen to us live on KMOX.com as well. Did you see this is next?
RENNER, forward and back. Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Excited to share with you about Renner Garage Door. Spells the same thing, forward and backward. RENNER. Formerly the St. Louis Door Company, Renner's been selling, servicing, and installing garage doors in St. Louis since 1966. So if you need to repair or replace your garage door or opener, Renner does that. So call Renner or check out their special deals at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, the garage door company that does. Giddy up!
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Some summer items should not be mixed in with your curbside recycling. Items like garden hoses, plastic planters, pool toys, squirt guns, and lawn chairs are generally not recyclable and are best donated to charity. If you have a question as to whether an item can be recycled, look at the recycling triangle and number, usually on the bottom of the product. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Come out to the brand new Rally House location at Brentwood Point this Friday for giveaways and good times with none other than play-by-play announcer Joey Zanaboni.
Left foot cross, what's Jalkidi? Bocce ball loose, inside, it's flicked.
Be sure to get there early and see Joey from 3:30 till 5:30, leading up to the player appearance starting at 5:30 with City Defenders, Tim Parker, and Lucas Bartlett. It's a great time waiting this Friday at the brand new Rally House at Brentwood Point, kicking off at 3:30.
Different real estate agents will sell your home for different amounts of money. This is Debbie Monterey. Don't be fooled into thinking that all realtors are created equally, because they are not. Different realtors will get you different results. So the agent you choose to sell your home matters. The experience your agent has, the marketing, the database of buyers, the systems and capabilities of your realtor, they all matter. Why? Because how much you sell your home for matters to you. That's why I recommend you call Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. According to MLS statistics, Gloria sells her listings for more money than the average agent, and she does it with less hassle. With 20 plus years of experience, our local real estate expert, Gloria Liu, knows how to get you the most money for your home guaranteed. Gloria also offers her sellers multiple selling options. So call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
The MSD Rate Commission represents the voice of the people in MSD's rate-setting process. The commission is hosting multiple public meetings this summer to gather your input on proposed rate increases for wastewater and stormwater services. To find the meeting closest to you, please visit msdprojectclear.org/rate commission or leave a message at 314-335-2028. Check the website regularly as meetings will be added throughout the summer. msdprojectclear.org/rate commission.
Can you imagine being a superhero?
With a sidekick?
Can you imagine you can fly?
Your sidekick shows up wherever you are.
In a fancy blue truck.
And whatever you point at disappears.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your sidekick.
We're twitching in anticipation.
Vibrating with energy.
We haul away whatever you point at.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength sidekicks.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
I'm Jim Brennan. McKelvey Homes is celebrating 125 years with our inventory home sale. And for every home sold, McKelvey Homes will donate $1,898 to Dravet Syndrome Foundation. Visit McKelveyhomes.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. Not all law firms are created equal. Don't risk your future with just any firm. See how Onder Law is different.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
Long summer days call for extra hands. Hire fast with Indeed. Their hiring solution helps attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
We're back! Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy on the show.
Amy, let's go Cardinals. Hey, did you see? I'm sure you did by now. I think everybody knows.
Yeah.
There's a Cardinals fan. He goes by the Rally Runner, paints his face, runs around Busch Stadium trying to get the team to score runs.
Yeah.
Well, he's been charged for January 6th.
Oh.
Daniel Donnelly Jr., 43, charged with 1 count of civil disorder, a felony, and several misdemeanor offenses, including disorderly conduct in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct in a Capitol building, impeding passage through the Capitol grounds, and theft of government property.
Yeah, he took a riot shield. He was one of the January 6th mobsters with a riot shield pushing against police officers in the Capitol to allow other rioters to move forward and advance on the Capitol.
You know, this is... I mean, I don't know. I guess you can't be really surprised that it happens close to home, and you've got people from here who went to the Capitol on that day to do stupid crap like this guy.
Okay.
What really bothers me about it is that this is just giving more ammunition to Best Fan St. Louis.
Oh, geez.
You know the Twitter account that does nothing but make fun of Cardinals fans? Why would you do this?
So
Rally runner, because now you've given them more ammo.
The New York Times, a staunch supporter of the Cardinals, Mr. Donnelly in recent years became something of a mascot of the MLB team as he ran laps outside Busch Stadium wearing all red attire and face paint, believing his jogs would generate more runs for the team. Mr. Donnelly wore a similar all red outfit at the Capitol on January 6th. Only this time he added a Keep America Great hat.
Oh, come on, man.
And he wore the same outfit. Unbelievable.
Hey, get punished. Good, idiot. Amy Marks, Coors, Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
In 2023, fans welcomed Wilson Contreras to the Cardinals family. And on Saturday, August 5th, we celebrate him with his first gate giveaway. That day, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will go home with their own Wilson Contreras home white Cardinals jersey, courtesy of Stiefel. That's not all. 10,000 fans ages 20 and younger will also receive a baseball card pack thanks to Topps. For details or tickets, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Wilson Contreras. See you at the ballpark. Sunday, August 6th, the Cardinals host the Rockies, and there's a giveaway for fans of all ages. That day, 10,000 fans ages 16 and older will get an exclusive Cardinals and MLB Network hat, and 10,000 kids ages 15 and younger will take home a Tommy Edman growth chart thanks to Missouri Farmers Care. Stay after the game for the post-game Hot Shoe Kids Run the Bases. That's Sunday, August 6th, the Cardinals and the Rockies. For more ticket information, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Tommy Edman. See you at the ballpark.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Paramount Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we've got clouds. It's 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. From the KMOX Storm Center, the National Weather Service has issued a flood warning for a couple of rivers in the St. Louis area. We've got the Merrimack River near Eureka. This is from Friday evening to Monday afternoon. And at the expected crest of 21 feet, West Spring River Road becomes inundated at that height of water. Also, the Big River at Burnsville in Jefferson County, that's from Friday morning to Sunday evening. And at the expected crest of 19.3 feet, South Burnsville Road goes underwater at that level. Again, flood warnings for the Merrimack River at Eureka and the Big River at Burnsville. The debate over whether humans should or should not control the flow of water continues on today.
That debate's been going on since the days of the pharaohs in Egypt,
when they first started building levees.
David Bussey with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was in St. Louis during the Great Flood of 1993.
What they talk about on the MRNT project, which is south of Cairo, is room for the river. There are certain places I doubt society is going to say we need to let the river go wherever it wants. And a prime example of that is on the Metro East side.
Bussey says generally levees in Missouri on the Mississippi are in better shape now than they were after the floods of 93 and 95. Donald Trump is due in federal court today to answer to charges that he sought to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
Former President Donald Trump has a court date this afternoon in Washington, D.C., just a few blocks from the scene of the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol.
The indictment was issued by a grand jury of citizens here in the District of Columbia.
Special counsel Jack Smith announced Tuesday Trump faces 4 felony counts related to his effort to undo the 2020 election. A magistrate judge will handle this appearance, but going forward, the case has gone to U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan, who has been one of the toughest in sentencing rioters and ruled against Trump in 2021 when his lawyers tried to assert executive privilege to block the release of documents to the January 6th Congressional Committee. Trump's expected to be processed by law enforcement, be officially taken into custody, and enter a not guilty plea before being released to rejoin the campaign trail. Many Republicans are supporting Trump. Former Vice President Mike Pence, however, spoke in Indianapolis yesterday.
On that day, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution.
This is the 3rd criminal case brought against Trump in the last 6 months. Jennifer King, Washington.
It's not a gun issue. That's what the Missouri governor told KMOX this morning when asked about the state's high gun death rate.
You know, as long as we keep arguing over the gun debate issue, nothing's going to change. And it's not a gun issue. I mean, honestly, if everybody just be honest about that, go to Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, Detroit, El Paso, any major city that has the strictest gun controls in this country have the same problem, if not worse.
Mike Parson went on to say it's a societal problem and we have to make people responsible for criminal behavior. You can hear the entire interview now on the free Odyssey app. The KMOX Business Desk, where are summer vacationers going?
JetBlue, Southwest, and other domestic carriers expected the post-pandemic travel boom to send ticket prices soaring this summer. Instead, travelers are showing a strong preference for international trips. Round-trip fares in the U.S. are down about 11% compared to last year. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Dow from Stifel's down 26 points to 35,255.
Outside of a shower in spots early, it will be a mostly dry afternoon with clouds and some breaks of sunshine. It will be humid with a high of 86. Increasing clouds and muggy tonight with a stray shower or thunderstorm, low 75. And the risk for a thunderstorm again tomorrow with clouds and sun, high 89. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. We've got clouds, 79 in Florissant, 78 St. Peter's, 78 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
The Chris and Amy Show.
Sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info@cardinals.com.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. Good to have you with us. Hour 2 of the show happening. Again, we will visit with Matt Pauley about the Cardinals' win last night and just moving forward after the trade deadline came to an end. And also, we will talk to Larry Elder. You know him, political commentator who is running for president under the Republican ticket. So he is hoping to get the nomination, and we will talk to him later on in the show. Amy, before we get to Governor Parson, who was on Total Information AM today, we got a text message, and you're welcome to shoot us one if you want, 314-436-7900. And just to mention the story about the Cardinals rally runner, Daniel Donnelly Jr., who has been charged with a bunch of different crimes on January 6th because he went to the Capitol building. And a text message here says, I think we can all agree 2023 is not the year of the Cardinals.
Well, you're not wrong.
No, it's not. It's not been a good year.
It's
I mean,
it's not funny, but
it's like our mascot. Oh my God.
I mean, it would be worse if it were Fred Bird, for sure.
Well, yeah. Can't imagine Fredbird on the Capitol grounds.
He's got a flag.
Came Fredbird with a "Make America Great Again," and he's charging into the Capitol building. Come on, man. No, but here,
Fredbird
unofficial.
would never do that, by the way. Fredbird.
Fredbird's a great
He's
guy.
a great guy.
Yeah, follows the rules.
The most
worst
aggressive thing he does is he
bite
eats
your head.
He eats your head. Yeah.
He's been biting my head since I was a child.
Remember when you thought that you were special because of that?
Yep. I was so devastated when I found out that Fredbird bites other people's heads too. I have a photo of me very, very young.
Yeah.
And Fredbird's biting my head. And I thought, wow, I can't believe he did that to me. And then years later, I realized he does that to everybody.
I still love to
Fredbird.
get my picture taken with Fredbird.
Still love it?
Mm-hmm. Like if there's
Awesome.
an opportunity to get your picture with Fredbird, take it.
There's no question.
But not the rally runner because he's in the slammer, maybe.
If there's an opportunity, Amy, to speak to the governor of Missouri, you do it.
Yes,
Yeah. Total Information AM today did such a thing. And they talked with Governor Mike Parson, who is outgoing. He is not going to run for governor again. This will be his final term when it is all over. And they got to a number of issues today. First and foremost, they did talk about the indictment of President Trump and his thoughts.
I just think it's totally unfortunate what we're going through right now. I think now he's been in 78 or high 70s of indictments he's doing. I just think it's unfortunate the federal government is not treating everyone the same. And I mean, it's quite obvious in this thing. I don't know how all these indictments are going to come out. I don't think anybody does, but you can just tell. It's a shame that the DOJ, and a guy that's been in law enforcement the majority of my career, you know, when you start diluting the confidence in law enforcement or the Department of Justice or the FBI or the IRS, you know, it's just a shame our country's going down that road. And it's quite obvious right now. They're treating people differently, and that should never happen. So it's unfortunate we're going through all this right now. Our country's better than this, and it's just unfortunate we're in the position we are.
Well, I take issue with a couple of things there, with all due respect to Governor Parson. First of all, I don't believe it is the federal government itself that is, what did he say, diluting law enforcement by the way they've been acting over the last couple of years. I think what's happening is you have a bunch of people who continually beat the drum of the Department of Justice, the FBI. They're all crooked. The IRS is all crooked. They're all coming after only Republicans, only conservatives, and they're not treating the other side the same way. I'm sorry, I don't buy it, because you have Republicans and conservatives who are in those organizations who are conducting some of the investigations that you're not happy with. So I don't think that holds water. I think it's easy to say. I think it's easy to put that out there because no one's going to push back against it. And you're going to get support when you say stuff like that. So I don't buy it. I think that's nonsense, but with all due respect.
Yeah, and I mean, I have faith in our institutions. I think it's possible the DOJ dragged its feet on the Hunter Biden investigation because there was an election around 2020 and it could have consequences. It's not.
Maybe.
It's not beyond.
That's a maybe.
Yes, but it's not beyond a reasonable person's observation going, well, maybe they did. I don't know exactly. It seems like with the whistleblowers, they're saying that they did. Okay, I would need to find out more. Have they dragged their feet before on other investigations? Because we do know that the DOJ's announcement of its investigation into Hillary Clinton and the emails, that was very consequential. No, she didn't go to jail, but the timing was not great for the election in 2016.
For her, yeah, she lost because of it.
So
if that doesn't happen, if they don't put out the letter, if James Comey doesn't make that grand announcement 2 weeks before the election that they're reinvestigating, then she probably wins that election in the first place.
I would say my observation, just from what I've read, I can see, maybe they dragged their feet with Hunter Biden. Do I think the Department of Justice is covering up more than they know about Joe Biden's involvement? No, I don't. I don't think that.
I don't buy that either. I think what prosecutors at large, what they do, and this is at the local, very small city, state level, and then all the way up to the federal level, I think what prosecutors do is they go after people when they are pretty confident they're going to win, and they have enough to win. I think in the case of Biden, both son and president, they would go after them, and they've done it after Biden for sure. They've gone after Hunter Biden for sure. If they feel like they have evidence to charge and win in court, they're going to do it. It's a matter of evidence. It happens at the prosecutorial level locally when a lot of district attorneys or circuit attorneys won't try a murder case because they think they're going to lose. And people are like, why aren't you going after this person? Why they clearly committed a crime? And the reason is they don't want to hurt their numbers. They don't want to lose a case, so they're not going to pursue it if they think they're going to lose in court.
And I think one issue too with Donald Trump, why do they keep going after him? And I think, well, because he continues to do that many questionable, illegal, unethical, or immoral things. When the Mar-a-Lago documents case, that is not fabricated. He knows the documents were there. We know what happened, right? With January 6th, yes, they have to prove criminal intent, but that is well documented. We see the speeches, we see the texts. We're not pulling these things out of thin air.
I would like to, and the other thing I took issue with Governor Parson and what he said, and this has been something that not just him, but this is a pretty much across the board with few exceptions like Chris Christie or Asa Hutchinson or Adam Kinzinger, who used to be in office. The treating differently thing, clearly there are two different standards for Democrats and Republicans when it comes to the Department of Justice and the FBI. That's nonsense. If it were the case that Joe Biden was accused of all the exact same stuff that Donald Trump is accused of, and it was all going on simultaneously, you better believe they'd be going after Biden similarly. They have not committed similar crimes.
Yeah.
That's why they're not being treated exactly the same. Because it's like saying, hey, I stole a candy bar from the gas station. This guy, meanwhile, plowed through a crowd of people with his car. Why are we both being treated differently by the law? Well, because they're different crimes.
And I will say, are there two tiers? Are people treated differently within the justice system? Yeah. But I don't think it's Republican and Democrat.
No,
I think it's the very, very wealthy and everyone else.
You want to be mad about that? Absolutely.
With the Sackler family.
Absolutely. Yes.
How are they walking around on their golf courses and yachts?
Yeah, the Sackler family, whose punishment for killing how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people with the opioid epidemic.
Lied about the addictive qualities of their opioids.
Yes. What is their punishment? They went from having a bunch of billions to fewer billions. Yeah. That's their punishment. They still get to have billions of dollars. So if you want to be upset as an American citizen about being treated differently, it ain't about Republicans being treated differently than Democrats. It ain't about conservatives and the Department of Justice going after them over going after a progressive. It's rich people. They're going after the people who don't have the means to protect themselves.
And I will say this. I am not against rich people. I love rich people. I love billionaires. I love businesses. I think like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, they changed the course of human events with their inventions, and I'm all for big business. So I'm not against it.
Yeah.
But I am acknowledging, if you're someone who has billions of dollars, I'm not talking about someone who lives in Chesterfield. I'm talking about someone with
We're talking
billions of dollars.
Not somebody who's got a comfortable living. Somebody that has more money than they could ever possibly spend.
They can get,
even if they give it away.
They have the resources.
Texter says, a texter from 636 says, Biden was not president when he took classified documents, but he didn't hang on to them and refuse to give them back.
Oh, it was all about giving them back.
This has been litigated over and over and over again. Why are we not getting this?
Pence had classified documents. He gave them back. And again, why am I forgetting the name of the guy that went to National Archives and stuffed some classified documents down his pants?
During the Clinton administration?
Yeah, during the Clinton administration, he stuffed them down his pants. And then they said, hey, you have our documents.
A lot of things getting stuffed down pants then.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, he got them out of his pants.
A lot of that happening too in that administration. Okay.
and he didn't go to jail. He's okay. Just give back the documents.
Governor Parson also asked today on Total Information AM about age limits and when people in Congress and government that the presidency should quit.
But I'll just be honest with you. You know, I'm getting ready to leave this office, and I'll be about 69 years old when I leave. There is a time to go home. There truly is for politicians. And I think whether you like Joe Biden or whether you don't, there's no way the guy can handle being president of the United States. It's unfortunate just because of his age and because of the way things are. And like I said, I don't care whether you sport or not sport. There comes time when people in Washington, D.C., people in the state, they need to go home. I mean, and, you know, you just don't need to stay in these positions forever.
That seems to be a growing sentiment. If I'm not mistaken, he was also asked, well, what about President Trump? And I think I don't want to mischaracterize that. So hopefully we can find it.
Yeah.
But I think he also said, same
with
kind
Trump.
of thing.
Yeah, Biden and Trump. And I will say, it's funny. I had this conversation this morning with some friends, and just how old everyone is, from Mitch McConnell to Dianne Feinstein, who not only didn't know she was supposed to vote or who she was. Now there's this big story about her family's fighting over who's going to get her estate and her money when she dies. I mean, it's a terrible story. And I don't know where these people's families are saying, you know, Dad, you know, honey, you shouldn't be in this position anymore. Kind of like taking the keys away from your dad, your grandpa, who shouldn't be driving. And my friend brought up this point. We've talked about the age thing a lot. And she said, my goal is to retire. I've got kids. I want to go on trips. I am working so I can retire. What in the world do I have in common with these people who are 100 years old and hell-bent on not retiring? She goes, how do they know anything that has to do with my life and the real world, where they are determined to stay in that office until they die? She goes, the fact that they want to do that until they die somehow tells me they don't get it.
No, but I believe you can't impose an age limit. We can maybe talk about term limits, and I'm still iffy on that. And while I do believe that there are some people in Congress who should say, look, I'm not cut out for this anymore, or advisors or family or whatever, like you're talking about, should say, look, it's time for you to come home. While I don't agree with the term limits, and while I would like for those other things to happen, I don't think we can impose it. I don't think we can give an age on that. Also, again, let me go back to Parson for just a moment. We got to hit the break. But Governor Parson, in the follow-up to the question, I want to make sure we have this right. He was asked about age limits, and here's what he said on Trump in the follow-up.
Same thing. I think there's some point, you know, when you get up in your 80s, no matter who you are, I think there's a total difference between how the two can handle things. But regardless, I don't think senators should be up there in their 80s. I don't think people in the House of Representatives should be up there in the 80s. I mean, at some point, you just flat need to go home.
So, I mean, he said for both Joe Biden and President Trump, who would be 78 by the time he took office, or would it be 79? So June, he was born in June. He's 77 years old now.
I'm more leery about term limits, and I would be more open to age limits. And I think maybe I'm wrong on this, but if you said you can't seek office if you're 75 or above, you can't seek re-election or seek office, I would be okay with that. And maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, I think you are. I honestly think you are, because there are 75-year-olds who absolutely have the wherewithal, and they are sharp. I know people who are 90 who are like that and could absolutely lead.
Running companies at 70.
So how do you can't regulate it? I think, I don't know. We have to rely on two things. Number one, the voters. People have to make smarter decisions when they vote. That's three things. One, participate in the damn primaries. Do that first, because if you participate in the primaries, you can weed out some of these candidates and get better ones and younger ones if you think that's what we need. Secondly, vote for better candidates in the general. And then third, we have to rely on the individuals themselves taking personal responsibility. I don't think we can legislate it. We need to take a break. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji on KMOX. And also, it is time for you to get your eye exam. Yeah, you know, it's a little damp outside. It has been. Maybe you've got allergies and you've got dry eyes and you've had all kinds of problems with them. And you think, it's just itchy eyes. No big deal. Well, guess what? There's a treatment for it. And sometimes it is as simple as getting eye drops. Sometimes it is as simple as, just taking better care of yourself. But there are other times you really need an eye doctor to take a look. And at Ophthalmology Associates, they're going to do that. We call them the doctor's doctors. And the reason we do is because over 250 doctors of all kinds in the St. Louis area go to Ophthalmology Associates. And they do so because they're trusted. They're so good at what they do. Doctors Ranjan Malhotra, Greg Birdie, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. They're wonderful. They're so good. And if you maybe need a more serious procedure, maybe if you need LASIK, guess what? They can do that. They can handle it. They are fantastic. They are experts in LASIK surgery. So make your appointment. Sometimes, by the way, you should know this, your insurance will take care of that appointment with your annual eye exam. You need to get it done regularly, so give them a call. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000. That's 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Local news and information direct to your smart speaker. Just say, play KMOX.
How would it feel to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds or more? This is Debbie Monterey, and I can tell you, thanks to St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, it feels great. I lost 20 pounds in the first 30 days on the St. Louis Weight Loss Secret program, and I've lost more than 30 pounds in 60 days. I'm just trying to lose a few more pounds because it feels fantastic. My clothes fit better. My knees and my ankles feel better. I just feel great. And you can do this with the help of St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. You're eating real food. You don't have to buy food or tons of supplements or do hypnosis or injections. None of that. You're eating real food that helps to speed up your metabolism. It is amazing to watch the pounds fall off. Results may vary, but many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. And that is what happened with me. To get your free private weight loss consultation, just call 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Celebrate the month of August with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning as well. Call right now, 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Let them know that the DGS sent you.
When you read financial news updates, popular headlines include inflation, 401ks, and taxes, but bottom line, it all comes back to the number one fear, which is running out of money. If you're close or in retirement, you have 2 big jobs: protect your life savings and create income for retirement. So how do you do that? You call Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group, and you put together a customized, comprehensive plan. Start checking off those boxes for income for life, tax-free retirement, and much more.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Call today, 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. BWA and All Financial Group, LLC are separate companies.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L, 544-3600.
It's lonely at the top. Successful leaders aren't just adjusting to change. They're demonstrating more resilience than ever to be successful. CMA Global offers a program to coach your leaders. Coaches offer thought partnership in a safe, confidential manner to make it less lonely at the top. The desire to take your organization to the next level is at the heart of everything they do at CMA Global. Let them show you how they can guide your leaders to reach their full potential, even in this ever-changing marketplace. Go to CMAconsult.com. CMA Global. When your people thrive, your business thrives.
KMOX, the 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year, recognized by the Missouri Broadcasters Association. KMOX, we were built for this.
It's Amy and Chris on KMO. I'm sorry, Chris and Amy on KMOX. Amy Marks
You can
scores Chris
say
Ranji.
Amy and Chris.
Yeah, it's not the name of the show, you know.
It'd be like saying, "Oh, do you want a jelly and peanut butter sandwich?" Nobody says
Yeah,
that.
that would be really weird, but it would still be accurate.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
The name you were looking for, Amy, and thank you to the texter to 314-436-7900, Sandy Berger.
Sandy Berger.
Sandy Berger
How
shoving
can
the
you-
documents down his pants.
How can you forget the name Sandy Berger? It sounds like a character on SpongeBob.
You know what? I feel like I missed out on SpongeBob. I was too old for it, probably just too old to watch SpongeBob. But I really feel like I missed out on how great it was. People still talk about
Yeah.
it. They reference it all the time.
I
and
think so. What's funny is I never watched
should I
it.
go back?
Sure. I never watched it, but I know enough about
Dave,
it.
did you watch SpongeBob? No?
No,
You're
I
way
was
too old.
I was older than SpongeBob.
Tyler, did you watch SpongeBob? Was it great? Thumbs up. No. Oh, Stuart's giving me a thumbs down. Stuart McMillan said thumbs down.
So
Tyler said, nah.
I never watched it.
Wow.
I've seen it. It's chaotic. It's for kids who have like chaotic brains. I just, when you watch it, there's just a lot of yelling and screaming and a lot's going on. But it's quotable. There's Patrick the Starfish. They live in Bikini Bottoms, Bikini Bottoms.
It looks like an adorable
Sandy
show.
Berger sounds like he could be on SpongeBob.
Yeah, well, I mean, did SpongeBob stuff things down his
Sandy,
pants?
Are those documents in your pants?
Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. We will give you the birds with Matt Pauley next on KMOX.
Following the Dave Glover Show at 5 o'clock, it's Total Information PM. Hey, I'm Michael Calhoun. Check in with Kevin Wheeler and me for the latest news and information. Roger covers your commute. Dave Murray's got the forecast. Matt Pauley has sports. We'll take deep dives on local issues and help you be a smarter consumer. At 5:30, the CBS Evening News helps you understand what's happening around the country and the world. Total Information PM at 5 o'clock, right after Dave Glover on the trusted voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jewels on Hampton.
The check engine light is on in Washington, but politicians keep driving the cars if nothing is happening. There it is again. It's Social Security. A new government report says the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out by the year 2035. If that happens, it would cause all beneficiaries to take more than a 20% cut to their benefits. What does that mean for you? When should you start taking benefits? And how can you get every dollar of Social Security you're entitled to? The team at Heisey Advisory Group has been helping families optimize their Social Security benefits for over 17 years, and they can do the same for you. Give them a call, 314-328-4400 to schedule your visit with one of the advisors at Heisey Advisory Group. Again, that's 314-328-4400.
Our firm is not affiliated with the U.S. government. Investment advisory products and services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, and SEC-registered investment advisors. Security products and services made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. AEFS and Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC are not affiliated.
At 11:30, it's cloudy and 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. Just hours before his Washington arraignment on charges in the federal elections case, former President Trump blasts what he calls the unprecedented weaponization of the justice system. CBS's Scott McFarland is outside the Washington courthouse where the former president will appear.
This historic proceeding is going to be largely invisible to America. The U.S. Secret Service will escort the former president to this courthouse. They'll bring him through an underground garage that is out of public view, not accessible to photographers. Then he goes inside this hulking 6th-floor courthouse where cameras are prohibited. Then he exits back out, and he has the capacity when he leaves here to hold his own event somewhere else and control the optics and control the visuals.
A public meeting in St. Charles last night as State Representative Tricia Burns explained about high levels of uranium in Weldon Spring despite extensive cleanup efforts.
Clean in DOE standards is not to be confused with a vernacular that means cleanup. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely confusing. I think it's intentional. The groundwater will never be cleaned up at that site, and people don't realize that.
Burns tells Fox 2 the radiation levels could be even worse than Westlake Landfill or Coldwater Creek. The town hall was held at Francis Howell High School within 1,000 feet of the waste site. China's internet watchdog has laid out regulations to curb the amount of time children spend on their smartphones, saying minors would not be allowed to use the internet on mobile devices from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Those between 16 and 18 would only be able to use the internet for 2 hours daily. We've got some construction in the left lane of 70 going west at Zumbo. 70 west at Zumbo. The left lane's closed because of some construction. And we'll have clouds breaking for some sun this afternoon with a high of 86. It'll be muggy with a shower thunderstorm around overnight, the low 75. For tomorrow, clouds, sun, thunderstorms with a high of 89. At the moment, it's 79 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Mosby Building Arts.
Need a new door? Not sure what to do? Call the tried and true Mosby Blue. Want quality work from an expert crew? Call the tried and true Mosby Blue. To make your home look brand new, call the tried and true Mosby Blue. Mosby Building Arts. We do doors.
Do you worry about running out of money in retirement? Discover how you can make your money last as long as you do with your retirement professors. Saturday afternoon at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio. KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
The MSD Rate Commission represents the voice of the people in MSD's rate-setting process. The commission is hosting multiple public meetings this summer to gather your input on proposed rate increases for wastewater and stormwater services. To find the meeting closest to you, please visit msdprojectclear.org/rate commission or leave a message at 314-335-2028. Check the website regularly as meetings will be added throughout the summer. msdprojectclear.org/rate commission.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
What defines us is who we are as a collective group and how we progress and gain momentum through the season.
The Coach's Corner with St. Louis City Coach Bradley Carnell. Mondays at 9:35 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt.
I'm Cardinals outfielder Lars Nootbaar.
I'm Woodson Contreras. I'm Paul DeYoung.
Now, Chris and Amy give you the birds.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
And the pitch to Burleson is hammered down the right field line. Is it going to stay fair? It does. Another Cardinal home run. Their fourth of the game. A 3-run shot for Alec Burleson. And the Cardinals now lead 7-0 in the bottom of the third.
Another big fly for the Cardinals. It's Amy Markscores and Chris Ranji. What a day it was last night at the ballpark at Busch Stadium. Lots of folks out there having a great time, weren't they? This Cardinals report brought to you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated. RennerDoorSTL.com. Quiver River Electric guest line. We go to it now. We bring in our sports fella, Matt Pauley, who is in the middle of a family vacation, he says. He's with us now on KMOX. Hello, Matt.
Hello, how are you? I'm actually, so my in-laws are visiting, and we took them out to Grant's Farm. So I am
Oh, that's nice.
at Grant's Farm right now.
Grant's Farm, great place.
You know,
Yes.
honestly, when you planned the trip to Grant's Farm, did you think, oh, wait, I have to talk to Chris and Amy?
Yeah,
or did
it's
you?
Thursday.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, maybe you didn't think this through, or maybe
Yeah.
you're not valuing our time
Yeah, not
together.
valuing our time. We were told,
So,
Matt,
here's
that you requested to keep this short because you were
I-
spending time with family. And what I would say to you is, if you want to keep it short, Matt, you should take a vacation day.
No, I was just hoping for the professional courtesy. I will say this. It seems, you know how things tend to happen to me. It seems like that extends out to when my in-laws are in town, because our original plan was to be here earlier today. But my father-in-law got a flat tire. So this morning we had to run to Walmart and get an air compressor to just fill the tire up enough to get it to a place where they could look at the tires. So that put everything on hold. So the rest of the family already hopped on the tram and went to the other side of Grant's Farm. And I am standing on the other side of the tram, and I'm going to ride the tram solo and meet up with the family after this conversation.
So when you went to Walmart to pick up the thing, did you punch anybody?
I'm going to pick a fight. My wife went to Walmart.
Oh,
I was not part of that trip.
Okay. So you didn't have to fight anybody.
And as far as I know, my wife did not punch anybody, but I can't be sure. I wasn't there.
Okay.
That's true. Well, we'll talk about the Cardinals to keep it short, since you have other
We have
things
things
that
to
are
do.
more important
Yeah.
than us.
Thank you.
Hey, so we're past now the trade deadline, and this is the first time that we've had a chance to talk to you since it all came to an end. And I guess about 48 hours to look back, reflect on what happened, and I guess it all kind of worked out the way we expected, pretty much, right?
Yeah, they got 3 or 4 top 10 organizational prospects. They got 4 or 5 top 30 guys in the organization. They traded away a bunch of expiring contracts. Nobody that they had club control beyond this year got moved, and they were able to kind of replenish the farm system. I think anybody who thought that they were going to go find their ace starting pitcher for next season at this year's trade deadline, that was not going to happen. So you were going to be disappointed. So if your expectations were logical, you should be pretty happy with what the Cardinals were able to do.
Was there a hot minute as the 5 p.m. trade deadline neared that you suspected maybe the Cardinals won't deal Jack Flaherty? Or did you figure, no, this is going to happen, even if it does happen at the last second?
I guess my confidence level never dropped below 50% that they were going to move him. But as we got closer and closer and closer, because things can happen. All of a sudden a medical comes back funny, or somebody invokes a no trade clause, or, weird things can happen the closer you get to a deadline. So as we got closer, it started to pop into my head, you know what, maybe something doesn't happen. But I always thought that Flaherty would end up getting moved.
And so he did. He's off to Baltimore, apparently left a nice note to Oliver Marmol. And people here for, gosh, I mean, almost as long as Flaherty had been called up, with the exception of probably that very first season, people here, a lot of fans you would hear, and I'm sure you heard it, that he just did not want to be here. He didn't want to be a Cardinal. That never really rung true for me. He may have had criticisms. That does not necessarily equal not wanting to be here.
Yeah, we learned yesterday from Oliver Marmol that when he got back into his office after the game, there was a handwritten note from Jack. And Ollie didn't specifically say what that said, but he said, this is the reason we get into coaching. There are relationships. I think he liked being a Cardinal. Nobody's ever 100% happy with where they're at. I think some fans started looking at some of the things that Flaherty had to say that had nothing to do with baseball, and took, kind of extrapolated that out and made it out to seem that he didn't want to be here. I think he was very happy being a Cardinal, and I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it's likely. It's less than 50%, but I think there is a possibility that he could be back with the team next year.
Matt, I think we kind of know the general answer to this, but as you look to the offseason and moves that need to be made with the Cardinals, what do you hope to see?
Two pitchers that are their top two pitchers. That's what they, Miles Michaelis should go into next season as the number 3 starter. And that's nothing against Miles Michaelis. It's just if this team wants to win at a high level, if this team wants to give themselves the best chance to go on a deep playoff run, what they do is they go get top 2 pitchers. I think one of those is probably a free agent, and one of those is via a trade.
All right, last thing for you, talking about pitching, Dakota Hudson, nice showing last night. I mean, we've been up and down on him for a couple of years now. What's the likelihood he's part of the rotation next year?
If he continues to do what he did last night, it goes up and up every single time. That was pretty darn impressive.
All right, Matt Pauley, we appreciate what?
One more thing.
Yeah.
I am supposed to tell you guys hello from Officer Texty.
Oh, Officer Texty. We love Officer Texty.
Yeah.
He is here. I think I may be able to skip the tram. I might get like a VIP ride up to that's what it's looking like. I just got a note, says I can give you a ride up, but tell them hello from Officer Texty.
Well, you're welcome.
If
it weren't for us, this wouldn't have happened for you.
That is true.
Good things happen to people who join Chris and Amy.
Yep.
Well, say hello back.
Okay.
I hope you have a great VIP ride. Not gonna lie, the tram sounded fun, but I think the VIP ride will be very nice.
Yeah, I've done the tram before. I think the VIP ride sounds pretty cool.
Have fun, Matt Pauley.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Matt Pauley with us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. 5:50 pregame show tonight and a 6:45 first pitch. The Cardinals will take on the Twins. This is a true story, but I knew a few Chicago cops, and they were more than happy to give you a ride to the next bar. And I had a guy who would drive me we'd go from one bar to the next, and he would come to the bar and pick us up, put us in the back seat, and drive us to the next place.
Why?
Why the hell not?
What?
And he
Because
would turn on the lights.
No.
And he would speed. Yes.
Because he was a fan of you?
Well, yeah, I mean, come on.
He didn't do it for everybody, just for
No,
you.
you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big deal, man.
I mean, people I talk to, oh, Chris Runji.
That's right. That's
oh,
right.
I love him. Oh,
and I'm
he's
not kidding
great.
you. We were flying down city streets to get to the next place. And sometimes he would drive out of his like where he was not supposed to be.
This is like how the billionaires live. And
I know.
You
That was
have
my
the
taste of being
the audacity to sit in that high chair and cast aspersions upon the fine men and women who have built their companies while you hitch a ride with the Chicago Police Department so that you can indulge in a drunken revelry.
Don't like it? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
If your home or business just isn't giving you the joy it once did, it's time for a refresh. Contact your local CertaPro painters and put the power of pro to work for you. That's CertaPro's power of doing the job right, on time and on budget. The power of proven experts with the skills to refresh, rejuvenate, and reinvigorate your home or business. Get your project started today at CertaPro.com. The power of pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Carol Daniel for PNCC speak the language of executives. Michael Scully, regional president of PNC&I, had the privilege to talk with Christian Sorth, director and CEO of the St. Louis County Library, about their growth, community collaborations, and the feeling of belonging at the library. PNCC Speak shares the stories and pioneering approaches of successful business leaders so you can hear ideas that spark growth in your business. Listen today at KMOX.com/PNCC Speak. PNCC Speak, the language of executives.
Get ready to celebrate KMOX Day at the ballpark. Returning to Busch Stadium Wednesday, August 30th. With a purchase of a special theme ticket, fans will take home an exclusive KMOX Cardinals stein. Celebrating the all-time great That's a Winner Jack McCall.
The winner! A World Series winner for the Cardinals!
Only fans that present their theme ticket at the distribution will be eligible to receive the item. Exchanges will not be available at distribution. KMOX Day at the ballpark, Wednesday, August 30th. Get your tickets now.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Scrubbles is now scrubbing in St. Louis, with 2 locations now open and 9 more scrubbing soon. Our starting lineup of locations are the best in the biz. Come see our state-of-the-art car wash and see why Scrubbles is now batting cleanup in the St. Louis lineup. We prep wash and everything you need to clean your car is included. We have great monthly memberships. Visit us at Salt Lick Road or Mexico Road and see why Scrubbles is batting cleanup for St. Louis.
Hey guys, Glover here for B&B Theaters in Wentzville. Old friends of mine, good people, great theater, been there many times. It is the home to Screen X, the world's first multi-projection cinema platform, showing the movie on the massive grand screen in front and on the 2 auditorium side walls. Couple that with heated leather reclining seats and the incredible action of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning for a summer blockbuster that can't be beat. Tickets are online at bbtheaters.com.
Has anyone seen Roger? Where's Roger? It's time to open the jewelry store.
Where is everyone?
Did they all take the day off? At traditional jewelry stores everywhere, employees are quiet quitting and going to Diamonds Direct. Not just to work, but to shop. That's because even with employee discounts, Diamonds Direct offers all shoppers better selection and much better value. As a true direct importer of diamonds, Diamonds Direct has long-standing relationships deep in the world diamond industry, as well as the best diamond cutters across the globe, so they can say the quiet part out loud without the middleman markups. Diamonds Direct offers customers bigger, higher quality diamonds at a lower cost every day. Not to mention the best selection, the best customer service, best warranties, and best overall experience. Hello. Quiet quit paying too much for your diamonds. Go to Diamonds Direct. You won't be alone in how happy you are. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details, directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Congratulations to Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville for being named the top St. Louis breakfast restaurant by TripAdvisor. For the best deal on a dozen donuts, get the money-saving coupon at oldtowndonuts.com.
More Amy, more Chris. What is this weird show? It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Inside, clipping it, Messi! No stopping, Lionel Messi! Another early one for Inter Miami, who go up 1-0 behind the Great One.
Well, if you were looking for an answer, so is Leo Messi just better than everybody, or because he's older, he's not? Like, he's clearly better than everybody in MLS. He's scored 5 goals in 3 games.
And not had full games.
Yeah, well, the first game, he didn't play the first like all 90 minutes or whatever, and they're subbing him out late because, hey, they got 2 goals out of him in the last 2 games each, which they call, you know what they call that, Amy, in soccer? Scoring twice in a game?
No.
It's called a brace.
A brace?
Yeah, it's like an old English, French something or other, because brace means pair, I think. Not like a fruit pear, but a pair of. So it's called a brace in soccer when you score twice in a game.
Did not know that. What's interesting, and this is a testament to how good Messi is, when you're looking at sports that are changed, the nature of the team is changed by the addition of one player. You don't get that in baseball. Yeah, big star like Ohtani can really help your team.
Sure.
But he doesn't change the very nature of the game in the way that, say, adding LeBron James to your basketball team
to your
does.
point, Ohtani is on the team.
Yes.
And so is Mike Trout.
Right.
2 of the best players in the history of the game are on the same team, and they have been for a few years, and the Angels are not great.
How many years have they been under 500?
Oh, God, I don't know. I mean, they're kind of going for it this year.
They are, but they've struggled. And what's interesting is that with 11 men on the field, that Messi can take control of the game.
He knows where to be.
It's
He's
unbelievable.
smooth.
And I say 11.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that a guy in soccer, that's generally not how it works.
Right.
But he could single-handedly catapult Miami to the top of the standings, couldn't he?
He did it in one of the best leagues in the world, and now he's doing it for not one of the best leagues in the world. It is fun, and it's still growing and trying to strengthen it every day. But just to It's almost like, and this is the comparison I was thinking about last night. If Tom Brady, when he left the Patriots, instead of going to Tampa, had he gone to XFL or something?
Oh, I was going to say Mizzou.
That's kind of what it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what it feels like. He would have carved everybody up. And he's at the tail end of his career, and I don't think Messi is at the tail end. I don't think he's quite as
kind of at the tail. When you go to MLS,
he's not quite as far along in soccer as Brady was in football.
I don't.
Yeah, so
I thought Messi was pretty close to the tail end.
He's I mean,
like 2
getting
years
there, but I think it's a similar comparison. He's just that good, and he's so much better than everybody else. And it's nothing against MLS. It's still a good, fun league, but it's a young league, and it's still trying to grow. And maybe someday it will get there. But it's unbelievable watching him play.
Okay, shifting here. We have a question. What are you guys doing August 14th, 15th, and 16th? Because the Oakland A's are in town.
So what you hear right now are chants of "Sell the Team" as the summer of sell continues for Oakland A's fans. They are calling this a reverse boycott everywhere they go. And they are asking fans in every ballpark to join them in support.
So that's from Dodgers television this week.
Yep.
And the Oakland A's were playing at Dodger Stadium. And because Oakland is going through this just unbelievable situation with their owner, John Fisher, who has done
Kroenke-esque. That's what people need to know.
Oh, it absolutely
it's Stan
is.
Kroenke.
He has invested as little into the roster as possible. They've got a horrible stadium in Oakland. He didn't want to pay for it. He wanted the city to pay for a new stadium. It never went through, even though the city of Oakland tried to get them something. A lot of similarities between the Rams, the stadium situation here in St. Louis, and what's happening in Oakland. And John Fisher, the owner of the team, and the A's are going to be rewarded by getting a semi-publicly funded stadium in Las Vegas. They're going to get to move. And what you have are A's fans who, like Rams fans here, are devastated by the possibility of their team, or I should say likelihood their team is going to leave them, are at their own ballpark. And in visiting ballparks, they are asking other fans to join them in a sell the team chant. It happened at Giant Stadium. It happened in Colorado where the Rockies play. And it happened at Dodger Stadium this week where fans of the opposing team are helping out the A's by chanting "Sell the Team."
So we have an idea. Because we all got burned by Stan Kroenke, and people, they're still raging about Kroenke and what he did, the injustice to the city.
Here's an outlet for you.
Yeah.
The Oakland A's are in town August 14th, 15th, and 16th. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We think we should all make sure that we sell. It's called a reverse boycott. Sell out Busch Stadium.
Yep.
Go to the stadium and join in the sell the team chants.
So make sure your signs are green.
Yeah, you got to, if you're going to make signs.
We're going to make signs.
Yeah, you're not asking Cardinals ownership to sell the team.
We don't want any confusion that people think that we're saying sell the team.
Right.
I know it's been a tough year, but not that tough.
Yeah, it's not tough enough that you got to sell. No,
right.
No.
And we said we were sellers at the trade deadline. We didn't mean the team. Okay. So we're going to get signs, Ranj and I, and we're going to, green writing, maybe put a little A's logo in the corner. And you think we're joking.
Yeah, we're going to be there.
We met with our boss.
He thinks we're stupid, but we're going to do it anyway.
He told us don't do it.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to make posters, but make sure it's green and yellow. Your signs need to be green and yellow.
Because we're going to have green and yellow to show that we get it.
Yeah.
We as St. Louisans, we've been burned by an evil owner like Stan Kroenke. And we are blessed to have the St. Louis Cardinals. And we want to stand up with the Oakland A's fans and say, sell the team. And don't get Kroenke'd.
And make sure you put on your poster board that Chris and Amy have endorsed this. We
You
want
know
to
what?
make sure.
Okay, sell the team will be a sign. What about don't get Kroenke'd?
Don't get Kroenke'd.
Don't let the A's get Kroenke'd.
You can make a Kroenke.
Don't
sucks.
Kroenke the A's.
Kroenke sucks and so does John Fisher. Although they probably take that poster away from you because they try to.
You can't say the bad word. Just say don't.
Well, sucks isn't a bad word.
Don't Kroenke the A's.
Don't Kroenke the A's.
Yeah. Won't that be fun? Won't that be a great way for us to say, like, hey, we stand with the A's fan base?
We do. We have a lot in common. These are two very similar situations.
And we
went through it.
Yeah.
And we should want better for the next generation, right?
Yes. And we can start the chant, sell the team, sell the team.
Hey, just because it happened to us doesn't mean we should allow it to happen to Oakland.
I would say because it happened to us, we shouldn't allow it to happen to Oakland.
Let's show some solidarity with the Oakland A's.
Do we want to do it on Monday so we can start the series, get some momentum going?
We need to do it every day.
Well, I know, but if we want to make sure you and I are at least at the Monday game, are you going to all 3 games?
I don't know about all 3, but I'll be there. We have a texter who says maybe we should do some ticket giveaways. That's not a bad idea. We'll go see if we got tickets. Well, we need to find out if that's okay first.
Oh yeah, we don't want to incriminate anybody.
I got to make sure we have tickets to give away, and if we do, we'll that's a great idea. All right, sell the team, not the Cardinals. We're talking about the Oakland A's.
The A's.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji. Larry Elder joining us next hour on KMOX.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan, president of McKelvey Homes. Founded in 1898, McKelvey Homes is celebrating 125 years with our inventory home sale. Get $12,500 off of all our market homes. Move in quick, lock in your interest rate, and get all the popular features and colors selected by design professionals. And for every home sold, McKelvey Homes will donate $1,898 to Dravet Syndrome Foundation. Visit McKelveyhomes.com.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neovitin Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neovitin Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Dierbergs.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio each month for news, weather, and emergency information. A new bill in Congress would make sure AM radio remains in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We are Andro Law, your St. Louis legal powerhouse. Auto accidents, work injuries, pharmaceutical litigations, we do it all.
Andro Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11:59 right now, we've got clouds, and it's currently 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story this hour. From the KMOX Storm Center, the flood warning has been extended for the Borbas River at Union from this afternoon until Monday afternoon. And at the height of 21 feet for the crest, water begins covering Highway O at Highway AM and American Inn Road. Again, the Borbas River at Union, a flood warning is in effect for this afternoon through Monday. Flood warning has been canceled for the Merrimack River near Sullivan. 30 years after the Great Flood of 1993, what's the state of our levees?
Shape on the Mississippi.
David Bussey with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, St. Louis District, says levee commissions have generally been doing the proper upkeep.
We do inspections. We tell them things that might need to be repaired. They do those repairs. If they keep their bargain, if something were to happen to that levee, the federal government assists them in doing those small repairs.
He says the levees on the Mississippi are in better shape now than they were in 93 and 95. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
This just in.
The Pittsburgh synagogue gunman has been sentenced to death for killing 11 people in the nation's deadliest attack on Jewish people. Former President Donald Trump is due to face a judge in Washington over charges he tried to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
It's the third criminal case brought against former President Donald Trump in less than 6 months. Former federal prosecutor David Weinstein on what will happen later today.
One of the lawyers who's been representing Mr. Trump will enter a permanent notice of appearance, in this case in district court, at which point he will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Trump.
As for a possible trial date in this case,
this judge could very well set this trial to happen sometime beginning of next year. It's only August.
Trump's attorney in this case has asserted in television interviews that Trump's actions were protected by the First Amendment right to free speech and that he relied on the advice of attorneys. I'm Shelley Adler.
The reviews of St. Louis are pretty positive, according to a new survey from the Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Explore St. Louis, Kat Neville says over 80% first-time visitors to St. Louis.
83% of the respondents said that it was an excellent to very good experience in St. Louis during that week.
Neville says those providing the reviews were people from outside St. Louis who attended scheduled meetings and conventions at America Center, not leisure travelers who chose to travel to the region. The KMOX Business Desk, another story about emergency savings.
Fewer Americans can afford to foot an emergency expense compared with last quarter. The share of adults who say they could cover a surprise $400 bill without taking on debt is at 46%, according to a Morning Consult poll. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 43 points to 35,326.
Tonight, Trump makes his first court appearance in D.C. on election charges. Plus, Texas border tactics are under scrutiny following 2 migrant deaths and changes in foreign access to some U.S. farmland after a CBS News investigation on the CBS Evening News.
That's tonight, a part of Total Information PM, which begins at 5 o'clock on KMOX. There's some construction in the left lane of 70 going west at Zumble. 70 west at Zumble, construction in the left lane.
Some spots will see a shower early, otherwise humid this afternoon with clouds breaking for some sun, high 86. Partly to mostly cloudy and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm around, low 75. And still the chance for a thunderstorm tomorrow. It will be humid with clouds and sun, high 89. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got clouds. It's 80 in Florissant, 79 St. Peter's, 79 downtown at the Arch at the moment. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Missouri Ship. Free Medicare enrollment help. MissouriShip.org.
Medicare open enrollment is soon. Do you have questions? Let Missouri Ship help navigate the many options available. Ship counselors will help you find the right plan. No sales, only advice. Missouri Ship, a service of the state of Missouri. Visit MissouriShip.org.
The Chris and Amy Show.
Sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info@cardinals.com. Time to rewind. It's the Chris and Amy Rewind Recap.
By the way, we do have tickets to give away, Cardinals tickets for an upcoming game. When is the game? The tickets are for tomorrow. These are tickets for tomorrow.
August 4th.
August 4th. And we're going to be giving away some tickets today and some tickets throughout the show tomorrow. And then we were just talking about the Oakland A's series, the Sell the Team series. We're talking about the Oakland A's selling the team, not the Cardinals. We're going to have tickets to give away for that as well.
Because Ranj and I are going on Monday,
yes,
August 14th.
and we are going to implore John Fisher, the
Mhm.
owner of the A's, to sell the team and not Kroenke,
So
the Oakland A's fans.
Ranji will have a sign and I'll have a sign. We encourage you guys to make signs that say, one will say sell the team in green with the A's, so there's no confusion. And then another sign will say, don't Kroenke the A's.
Yeah.
Because we want to know Oakland. We want to let Oakland know that we stand in
with
solidarity with them against the Stan Kroenkes of the world.
We started the show today talking about the arraignment of former President Donald Trump, who is expected to appear in federal court today in just under 3 hours from now. He will be there in Washington, D.C. We spoke to CBS Washington correspondent Major Garrett about that.
This is fundamentally different. What the question before the country about this particular case is, do we believe in counting votes accurately, having them certified, and having them protected? Yes or no? Do we believe in the peaceful transfer of power? Yes or no? Those are the two questions. And they are the two questions that lay at the heart of the furtherance of this magnificent American experiment. Full stop.
So, yes, it is a monumental day. This will be a trial that is, I don't even know how to classify this trial in terms of trials in our history. Clearly, the import of it is huge, but it's also... It's a spectacle.
Well, yeah.
But I'm not saying the trial itself is a spectacle. I'm just saying that,
Well, first of all, Trump's a spectacle.
Yeah,
he just
he
is. He
is.
brings with him a lot of drama,
Right.
a lot of scandal.
that's been his thing forever.
Right. He's an entertainer.
Yeah.
That's what he is. And this, as far as the gravity and significance of this trial, I absolutely believe that the seriousness of it has been extenuated by the fact that so much of a circus follows Trump everywhere he goes. So the focus feels like it's another trial for Trump instead of a former president of the United States is being charged with conspiring to overthrow an election to stop the constitutional processes and the peaceful transfer of power. That is a huge deal. It's astounding to say those words, but because of Trump's narrative and how it is just a tidal wave of statements, ridiculous statements from Trump, where it's verbal vomit regarding the election since 2020, it's hard to grasp just how anomalous this is. This has never happened before.
and then you add to it the fact that a former vice president is going to end up testifying in court, most likely against his president. It's just, all of it is very, very odd. I mean, to say the least. It's not even the best adjective to use. It's just, I don't know. I'm equal parts fascinated, frustrated, tired of it, exhausted by it, all of those things. I have so many emotions about the whole thing. One of them I do not feel is celebratory. I don't feel like that at all, because this is decidedly not a good thing.
Well, it's decidedly not a good thing. And also, I don't think he's going to be charged. I mean, I could be wrong. This is just a hunch. Convicted.
Convicted, yeah.
I don't think he's going to be convicted.
Well, and we think that's not going to happen for different reasons. You think they're going to have a difficult time proving the case. I don't think that. Mine is more irrational. I don't think anything's going to come of it, because nothing really ever does.
And
that's not a logical way to see things.
Really bad if he gets convicted too. He's a former president.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not
everything
good.
surrounding this is bad.
Yeah.
I still feel like Congress was negligent of its duties when it could have and didn't impeach Trump in the first day following January 6th.
We also talked to Major about the Hunter Biden situation and the testimony from Devon Archer recently.
So the testimony from Devon Archer, his business partner, was damning in that it did not comport with what the president has said. Never knew about any Hunter Biden business deals, never on any phone calls. Clearly had some knowledge, and clearly he was on some call. But House Republicans said Devin Archer would give all this direct testimony about direct things that the president did with his son to create business arrangements. Devin Archer didn't say that. He said, well, basically Hunter Biden was trading on the family name, creating a brand and creating the impression that he had all this clout, which probably didn't. And I wasn't there to see any deal getting done.
I do think this, and I can be proven wrong, and I am absolutely open to the reality or the possibility that I can be proven wrong here. But I will continue to think until I'm shown otherwise. This is a guy who does what a lot of kids who have powerful parents do, and that is say, yeah, my dad can do this, or, do you know who my dad is? And I feel like Hunter Biden is probably that guy.
Well, I mean, I agree. Obviously, of course he did, especially with the issues and the addictions that he had. The problem here, as Major pointed out, is the testimony from this close friend / business partner of Hunter Biden is that Joe Biden did talk to these people within Biden's business circle when he, meaning Joe Biden, said he did not. Now, Devin Archer, who testified, that's Hunter Biden's business partner, said, well, they only, quote, talked about the weather. They weren't talking about anything serious. I find that harder to believe, or I find it hard to believe that even if Joe Biden did merely comment on the weather, that President Biden, or Joe Biden, vice president at the time as well, did not know who he was talking to or why he was saying hi to that person. I feel like that is bordering on unbelievable
I don't know.
that Joe
I don't
Biden
know.
would be
Maybe.
that naive that
Yeah.
Hunter Biden is asking him to say hi to all these people with absolutely nothing in it for
Well, what if
himself.
he does it all the time? What if he's like, hey, hang on a second, I'm gonna call my dad real quick. Hey, Dad, I'm with these people, and you're like,
If
okay,
you had
hey,
a
what's going on?
50-year-old son who kept asking,
I don't
hey,
know.
hey, Dad, say hi to this guy
Who the hell
over
knows,
and over
man?
and over again.
Who knows? I don't know every family
Here's the thing.
dynamic. I don't know.
I would not give Trump the benefit of a doubt in this situation, and I'm certainly not
Well,
giving Biden the
but they're
benefit of a
also-
doubt in this situation.
Well, right, but they're not even close to being the same situation.
I'm talking about in a hypothetical. We've
Sure.
seen with Trump and Donald Trump Jr. and all those sketchy dealings in Saudi Arabia and billions of dollars. So yeah, if you told me that Trump said hi to 100 of Donald Trump Jr.'s friends, I would say, yeah, Trump knew what he was doing. And I think Joe Biden probably knew. Now, did he know to the point that you could prove, like, that it would show evidence? Well, of course not. Probably not. I mean, if there's evidence there, they're going to find it. But I think there's a good chance that there's no evidence that he knew, but he did know.
That's possible too.
But I mean, if there's
you
no
can't prove it
evidence,
either
you
way.
can't prove it.
Right. But look, if I absolutely agree with the idea of pursuing Hunter Biden to every possible end, because my feeling is I don't want people like that in government, and you're never going to totally, you can't clear that out altogether. There's always going to be some nefarious stuff or sinister stuff or whatever. There's always going to be that. You'll never get rid of that. But I would like to weed it out as much as possible. And that goes for the Bidens. It goes for the Trumps and the Kushners. And I hope that people take off their team jersey for a minute and realize that we should treat all of them the same way. And I know I'm going to get texts from people who say, well, the Trump and Biden aren't being treated the same. Well, no, because the potential crimes are not the same. They're not the same thing. You can want to believe they are, but they're just not. So what I want people to do is look at this rationally. Look at Hunter Biden rationally. And the possibility Biden, the president, knew something about it at the time or knew more than what we think he knows. And the same thing for Jared Kushner and the money they made with Saudi Arabia. You should want to treat all of that in the same manner.
And let me say this, because I think, perception's reality. And obviously Trump draws eyeballs. So cable news is going to talk about Trump. What's interesting, on the day that Trump was indicted, if you look at CNN, MSNBC, that's the headline news. If you go to Fox News, their headline was Hunter Biden. And then number 2 was the border. They mentioned Trump, but the 2 big stories were Hunter Biden and the border.
Yep.
And here's what I can tell you. A lot of news outlets, it's not that they're fabricating stories.
They're
It's that
ignoring things.
They're ignoring
Yes.
things. And that absolutely happens. It's why the New York Post is obsessed with Hunter Biden and the New York Times is obsessed with Donald Trump. And you just have to realize what you're watching. So yes, media can show bias through omission.
But again-
and that happens all the time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that the indictment of Trump is not a huge deal. It doesn't mean that the border crisis is not real. They're both real, but those outlets, depending on their political leanings, may
But again, here's
focus one more on the other.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you. Just a little bit here. The Post is full on Hunter Biden all the time, and ignoring, essentially, for the most part, ignoring the I don't want to say they're not ignoring Donald Trump, but they're treating the other one with more weight. I don't think it is debatable that of the two stories, the Donald Trump story is a much, much, much bigger story.
No, and I get it.
Just
I think
is.
people feel like their intelligence is insulted when you have a platform like Twitter, the Jack Dorsey Twitter, freezing the account of the New York Post because of the Hunter Biden laptop story, which, to their credit, the New York Post being very persistent in that story, were able to prove that they were right with the entire Hunter Biden shadiness. And now look what we're at with the investigation. I know most people would not want to read the New York Post and the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post. But if you did that, you'd be pretty well-rounded on the news. But people like to stay in the silo.
Yeah. But one of them, I don't know. For me, there's one outlet that's a little worse than the rest of them. And you know which one it is. A texter says the, quote, "nobody is above the law" crowd sure is making excuses for Joe Biden. Who is? Nobody's making excuses for Joe Biden.
I think Ron just saying if there's evidence, and
Go
he
get
said
'em.
this a lot, go get him.
Yeah.
I will say
I've said it multiple times.
House
Go get 'em.
Republicans have not been able to find or present the evidence.
What House Republicans are doing is before they even read an indictment, they're saying, yeah, that's a witch hunt, not even going to read it, not even going to look at it. Nope, I know what this is. It's all political. But when it comes to the other side, they're going after it with a fine-tooth comb. You know, they're not treating it the same way. So what I'm saying is both sides here need to look at this logically. I know it's hard to do. It's difficult to be objective, and it's hard for me sometimes to do it, but I try at least. I don't think most people try to be objective in looking at these two events.
But I mean, I will say, especially when it comes to the Supreme Court, just going back to like, I love the New York Times. I subscribe. I have for years. But when you look at the scrutiny and the criticism that Amy Coney Barrett took from legacy media versus Elena Kagan, you see a bias. And people still tell me, oh, she's unqualified. She's tried less. Actually, Elena Kagan has tried less. She was more quote unquote unqualified. I don't think Elena Kagan's unqualified. I'm just saying there was a difference in the coverage of those justices.
Theaters are back, baby. People have been going to the movies, and guess what? It sounds like some of you need you've got to learn how to behave in a theater.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, what is this? What is this, Dave? You're doing this thing?
I thought you were swinging a bat.
What? I am swinging a bat. Oh, Cardinals tickets. We have Cardinals tickets to give away right now. So here's how we're going to do it.
Okay.
We're going to do the regular call-in number, yeah? 314-436-7900, caller 5 will win a pair of tickets for the Cardinals tomorrow night at Busch Stadium. Good luck to you. We've got more tickets to give away later in the hour. 314-436-7900, caller 5. Good luck.
And if you've been thinking about redoing your bathroom, you need a bathroom remodel. And who doesn't? You need to check out Michael's Baths. I'm so excited to partner with Michael's Baths. I love working with companies that are family owned and operated and locally owned and operated. And Michael's Baths is both. Mike and his daughter, they run the company and they keep it small. They keep it small so that they can focus on each project, keep the prices low, and keep it personal. They've got 6 employees, so there's not a lot of overhead. They work directly with manufacturers, so their prices are 30 to 50% lower than their competitors. And you don't have to worry about heading over to a big showroom. When you work with Michael's Baths, they'll bring the product directly to your home so you can see what the colors and the textures look like in your space. They are experienced custom bathroom remodeling contractors and designers. They understand you want your new bathroom to be functional and affordable and beautiful. Whether you need a new walk-in shower or tub and want to fix up, a lot of your bathroom, or you want to completely redo the whole thing, Michael's Baths is where you need to go. michaelsbaths.com, 636-775-0800.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. Have questions after being injured in an accident? We'll match you with the Onder Law team that's right for you and your case.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-900,000 to learn more.
How would it feel to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds or more? This is Debbie Monterey, and I can tell you, thanks to St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, it feels great. I lost 20 pounds in the first 30 days on the St. Louis Weight Loss Secret program, and I've lost more than 30 pounds in 60 days. I'm just trying to lose a few more pounds because it feels fantastic. My clothes fit better. My knees and my ankles feel better. I just feel great. And you can do this with the help of St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. You're eating real food. You don't have to buy food or tons of supplements or do hypnosis or injections. None of that. You're eating real food that helps to speed up your metabolism. It is amazing to watch the pounds fall off. Results may vary, but many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. And that is what happened with me. To get your free private weight loss consultation, just call 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
How are balloons made? Where did the dinosaurs go? Why is the sky blue?
Your kids asked you the tough questions because they trusted you. So how about another question for you? Do you have a trusted financial professional to go to for answers on your retirement? Questions like, how much do I really need to retire? When should I take my Social Security benefits? Could my taxes go up when I stop working? We'll leave those tough kid questions to you, but for your retirement questions, Heisey Advisory Group is the team to ask. Call them today at 314-328-4400. We all have important questions. Get your retirement questions answered with help from Heisey Advisory Group. Call now at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Security products and services made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. AEFS and Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC are not affiliated.
Local news and information direct to your smart speaker. Just say, play KMOX.
Amy, I got to tell you, I was looking at Twitter or X or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I saw this tweet from just some random account. I'm not even sure who it was, because apparently there's been a lot of bad behavior in movie theaters lately. Mm-hmm. We know that the pandemic almost killed them. They had such a difficult time rebounding because people didn't want to go back into a theater after COVID happened. But now they are starting to come back. Of course, Oppenheimer and Barbie being part of the mix are definitely helping. They've had record-breaking weekends over the last few weeks. But people are having really lousy behavior.
Like people have forgotten how to act.
They have forgotten how to act at the theater, taking out their phones, scrolling through their phones, watching TikTok, watching videos while the movie is going on. And I saw this thread and I damn near lost my mind. And I had to think to myself, okay, there's no way this is a real person who actually really truly believes this stuff. They have to be trolling, right? So here was the original tweet. It was from a woman named Kat who said, a lot of people are defending their in-theater phone use by saying they get bored during long movies. I get that, but here's the thing. Boredom is a part of life. Movie theaters are shared spaces. You aren't entitled to distract other people from the art because you're bored, which is 1,000% correct. There is no debate against that. That person's right. Don't tell me otherwise. Well, here's some lady named Maggie who wants to tell you otherwise. She says, I mean, if you're so distracted by someone's phone light in a huge theater, you've got bigger problems. Who cares?
No, that's
She's stupid. This person's stupid.
the phone light's incredibly distracting. We were at the Chris Stapleton concert on the lawn, which, okay, it's outside, but it's dark out. There aren't a lot of lights on the lawn
Right.
because you're at a concert. We were all jammed in together. One woman kept turning her phone on and then would have the flashlight on, then turn the flashlight off and turn the phone back on. She was right in front of us. It was the most annoying
It's so
thing ever.
obnoxious.
So to do it in a movie theater has to be exponentially more distracting.
It's supposed to be quiet in there, right? And you're not supposed, it's supposed to be dark because the only light should be coming from the screen itself. And this woman, Maggie, who I have to figure is trolling, has to be playing a part because there's no way that an actual real person believes this stuff. She goes on to say this because another person chastises her and says, well, hold on, we care. A lot of people care. Why is your private mini screen more important than everyone else in the theater? To which she says, nobody is forcing you to spend your money on entertainment.
Oh my gosh.
So she doesn't get it, right?
Right.
And in another tweet, somebody calls out the fact that people are not just looking at text, they're watching videos with the sound on. And she
No.
says, you mean like people do out in public spaces all the time? No, dummy. It's not the same thing. Being in a theater is we have all decided, right, as a society, that being in a movie theater is one of the places you're supposed to be quiet.
And not
Like
have
churches and funerals and wedding ceremonies, you're supposed to be quiet. In a theater, a movie theater, be quiet.
I think it shows the depth of our addiction to our phones. If you are going to a movie, which has a giant screen and surround sound, and you're bored, or you have to, out of nervous habit, look at your phone, go seek help.
There is a
or put
story.
your phone down and help yourself.
There's a story in the Wall Street Journal about this today because it's become a real problem. Hey, stupid, put your phone away in a theater. There's no defense for using your... Yes, I'm talking to you. You. Put your phone away. Larry Elder joins us next on KMOX.
Start your day with Total Information AM.
The thing that you need in the morning, when you first wake up.
I'm Tom Ackerman, Debbie Monterey, and I start your day at 5 a.m. with the morning's headlines.
Plus, Roger Brandt has traffic.
Vehicle crash. It sounds like it's in the median southbound 60.
Dean DeVore with the latest forecast.
Today's highs 95 to near 100 in real fuels as we go through
Sports and so much more.
I'm Megan Lynch. At 8 o'clock, we go beyond the soundbite. We give you context, perspective, big name guests, and in-depth conversation.
Total Information AM. Weekday mornings beginning at 5.
Makes my morning.
On KMOX.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds. And we feel great.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed early bird specials at $49.99. Seminar Saturday, August 5th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. Or Sunday, August 6th at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, by 2 p.m.
For garage door repair, St. Louis calls the real Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. They're the ones with the red ribbon. They're the ones who have been here since 1926. Others try to copy the name, but cannot match the level of service. The red ribbon means 97 years of trust and loyalty from St. Louis homeowners. Always look for the red ribbon. It means you have the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Call 314-781-5200.
The MSD Rate Commission represents the voice of the people in MSD's rate-setting process. The commission is hosting multiple public meetings this summer to gather your input on proposed rate increases for wastewater and stormwater services. To find the meeting closest to you, please visit msdprojectclear.org/rate commission or leave a message at 314-335-2028. Check the website regularly as meetings will be added throughout the summer. msdprojectclear.org/rate commission.
At 12:30, we've got some clouds. It's 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. The arraignment of former President Donald Trump is scheduled today in federal court in Washington, D.C. He is charged with trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Rofi tells us the former president will be accompanied by Secret Service as he arrives and enters the courthouse, where protections are in place for others as well.
We will then see some marshals present there to protect the judge and Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, if he chooses to attend this proceeding, as he did in Florida.
Mr. Trump is under indictment in Florida as well in connection with the special prosecution's classified documents case. The U.S. military is considering putting armed personnel on commercial ships traveling through the Strait of Hormuz in what would be an unheard of action aimed at stopping Iran from seizing and harassing civilian vessels.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Another pitcher stepping into the rotation following the trade deadline. Matthew Liberatore takes the ball tonight at 6:45 as the Cardinals try to get a series win against the AL Central leading Minnesota Twins. We'll have the pregame at 5:50. Yesterday, the Cardinals beat the Twins 7-3. They jumped out to a 7-0 lead on 4 home runs, and then Dakota Hudson went 7 innings. In the 6th inning, he had a no-hitter broken up, and the Cardinals went on to win that ball game by 4, 7-3. This report sponsored by Aloha Pools USA. Swim next summer, AlohaPoolsUSA.com.
This afternoon, a shower in spots and humid with clouds eventually breaking for some sun. High 86. We'll have a shower thunderstorm overnight, low 75. Tomorrow, clouds, sunshine, thunderstorm in spots with a high of 89. At the moment, it's cloudy and 81 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan, president of McKelvey Homes. Founded in 1898, McKelvey Homes is celebrating 125 years with our inventory home sale. Get $12,500 off of all our market homes. Move in quick, lock in your interest rate, and get all the popular features and colors selected by design professionals. And for every home sold, McKelvey Homes will donate $1,898 to Dravet Syndrome Foundation. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show on Cardinals Radio, KMOX.
Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji here on KMOX. It is, we're a while away from the presidential election in 2024, and there's been a lot happening this week. And of course, as you know, the indictment of former President Trump has already happened, and we will have the arraignment today, 3 o'clock Central Time. That arraignment is going to happen in Washington, D.C., and we continue our political discussion today by going to the Quiver River Electric guest line. We welcome in presidential hopeful, longtime American commentator. You know him, Larry Elder, who is with us now on KMOX. Larry, we appreciate your time this afternoon. How are you?
It is my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
So the first thing that I'm sure everybody is asking you is, in a what's starting to become a crowded field, and one in which has a very heavy favorite at this point here at the beginning of August, why have you decided to run for president of the United States?
Well, I'm running as an America First, Make America Great Again candidate. And as you pointed out, there already is one, the front runner. But I want to put on some issues front and center that I believe our side is not talking enough about, if at all. Number one, in my opinion, the most serious domestic problem we're facing in America is what I call the epidemic of fatherlessness. Around 40% of American kids today enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother. That's up threefold from the mid-'60s when Lyndon Johnson launched the so-called war on poverty. Since then, from 25% Black kids being born outside of wedlock, the number now is a little under 70%. 50% of Hispanic kids are now entering the world without a father in the home, married to the mother. And the stats are clear. In fact, even Barack Obama once quoted them. When you're raised without a father, you're 9 times more likely to be poor and commit crime. 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. What I believe we've done with the welfare state is to incentivize women to marry the government and incentivize men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. And that is not to disrespect the hard job that single women have done in raising boys and girls and often their grandparents, but it is to say it is far more difficult, and I've got ideas about what we can do about that. Then there is what I call this lie that America remains systemically racist. Obviously, at one time it was, but to say it is right now is driving stuff like reparations, which in my opinion is the extraction of money from people who were never slave owners to be given to people who were never slaves. It's driving stuff like race-based preferences, DEI, and more importantly, it's getting people killed. I call it the Ferguson effect or the George Floyd effect, and that is the phenomenon of cops pulling back from their normal proactive policing. So, and in cities all around America in the last several years, there are thousands of people who are dead or who have been victimized by violent crime who otherwise would not have suffered if the police had been doing their normal proactive policing. And the third major thing that I'm bringing up is the absolute disaster known as urban education, K through 12, where just to pick 2 cities, Baltimore, I'm not making this up, 13 public high schools in Baltimore, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level, and they're all located in the inner city. Chicago, 53 government schools, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level. Now, nationwide, there's something called the National Report Card. 85% of Black 8th graders, these are 13-year-old kids, can neither read nor do math at grade level. Half can't do basic reading, which means a substantial number of American Black kids are functionally illiterate. Yet the Democrats oppose school choice, which studies have shown improved test results, improved graduation rates. Meanwhile, the elites, whether Barack Obama or Gavin Newsom, the governor out here in California, or Hillary Clinton or Elizabeth Warren, are all sending their own kids to private school while denying the opportunity for urban parents to have that kind of superior education. So if I can put those issues front and center, even if I'm not the front runner, in the unlikely event that I'm not the front runner, if I can get the front runner to talk about these issues and to get the media talking about them, I will feel I've done a service to my country. And that's why I'm doing this.
Larry, going back to your first point and the rate of fatherlessness in American homes, you said you had some ideas to deal with that. What are those ideas?
Well, I think I liken it, Amy, to Alcoholics Anonymous, where recovering alcoholics have a sponsor. Every one of these kids who's raised without a father figure needs somebody in his or her life that you can call on for advice, for guidance, and for counsel. I'm part of the baby boomer generation. My generation has retired or will soon retire. And I like to think many of us are still vigorous. We've raised children. We've nurtured grandchildren. We have life wisdom. And I'm urging from my bully pulpit as president for all these people to get involved and to volunteer or at least donate money to organizations in your own neighborhoods that are doing this kind of work. Many churches are doing this kind of work. My pastor, Jack Hibbs, runs a church called the Calvary Chapel in Chino Hills, California, and they've got programs that they literally go door to door to talk to boys and girls without fathers and offer mentorship. And then we spend a lot of money, tax money, at the federal level on programs designed to make people self-sufficient. Many of these programs are inefficient or don't work. That money could be directed towards local organizations, including churches in your own organization. So I'm urging that we have a program where you can take your tax return and direct the monies that otherwise would have gone to the federal government for programs to go to programs in your neighborhood where you know that they work.
So, in going back to urban schools as well, you mentioned kids who live in those inner city urban areas. They deserve a good education, and I don't think anybody would disagree with that. but it's got to go beyond just, oh, I should have a choice to go to a better school, because that's not possible for a lot of people. They need to be able to have a good school near where they live. What is your plan for that?
Well, if the money follows the child rather than the other way around, there'll be all sorts of schools that will be established for this very thing. I mean, in New York, there are lots of schools like the KIPP Academy, Knowledge is Power, where the money goes to those organizations, and the kids from the inner city who are getting poor educations, all of a sudden they get better educations. Now, it requires buy-in on the part of the parents. Parents have to be willing to send their kids to schools that start earlier, that go longer. So it's a holistic kind of thing. But clearly what's going on right now is not working. As I mentioned before, you have a whole bunch of kids that can't read, write, and compute at grade level, despite the fact that we're spending more money than ever before. We've got to do something different. Now, charter schools or voucher schools are not a panacea, but certainly it's far better than what we got right now.
Larry, if I can ask you about, especially in light of former President Trump being arraigned today, integral part of a democracy is faith in the integrity of our elections. Do
Right.
you believe that 2020 was a fair election with integrity when you look at the victory of President Joe Biden?
I do not. I believe there were lots of things that went wrong, that were unfair. And we could talk for hours about it, but I'll just give you a couple of them. The suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story, the collusion between the DOJ and big tech organizations to suppress that story. Studies have shown in several swing states, a sufficient number of Biden voters would not have voted for Biden had they known about that story. The amount of money that Mark Zuckerberg spent, over $400 million of his own money to get out the Democratic vote in certain areas, in my opinion, was an example of election interference. The lie that Donald Trump suffered from for 2.5 years, that he was in bed with the Russians. And then you look at how COVID was used to alter regulations in states like Wisconsin, like Michigan, and like Pennsylvania. You add it all up together, I think it was extremely unfair.
Well, I
And
think
by the way,
Amy, I'm sorry, what Amy's talking about, Mr. Elder, is actual election fraud, votes being, ballot boxes being tampered with, and votes being counted twice, and dead people allegedly voting. Do you think that stuff happened?
I think every election has irregularities. I did not see anything in any of the allegations that Donald Trump made in any of the states that would have altered the outcome of the election. But I don't blame him for trying. I mean, Hillary Clinton told Joe Biden when he was running in 2020, do not concede the election under any circumstances if it's a close election. Donald Trump is Donald Trump. He filed a bunch of lawsuits. He did not win any of the lawsuits, but they were not frivolous. The one in Wisconsin, for example, he lost that one 4-3, and the Chief Justice of the Wisconsin Supreme Court filed a dissent and said the drop boxes that were unsecured in various areas in the state should not have happened. He lost the lawsuit in Michigan 2-1. A dissent was filed saying that the Secretary of State used COVID as an excuse to send mail-in ballot applications to every registered voter, whether that voter requested one or not. And the dissent found that that was illegal. He lost that one 2-1. And regarding Pennsylvania, there are two left-wing lawyers who are prominent, Alan Dershowitz and Jonathan Turley. Both of them did not vote for Donald Trump, wouldn't vote for Donald Trump if you paid them. And both of them thought that the Pennsylvania rules and regulations were changed unfairly. And Dershowitz predicted, A, that the Supreme Court would take up the Pennsylvania lawsuit that Donald Trump filed, and B, that Donald Trump would win it. He was wrong about both those cases, but these guys are not wingnuts. So again, you add it all together, I think Donald Trump had reason to be angry about the election. Now, regarding the indictment, let me just say this. 45-page indictment, I read it thoroughly, and I'm a lawyer. And throughout the indictment, Jack Smith praised Vice President Mike Pence for refusing the pressure to refuse to certify the electors in certain states. He kind of portrayed him as almost like Prince Valiant, standing up against all this intense pressure. Fair enough. What he didn't say is that just a few weeks ago, Vice President Pence was on CNN and said, Trump and I will never see eye to eye. I believe Trump acted recklessly, but there's nothing in there that makes me believe that what Donald Trump did was illegal. Now, it seems to me if you're going to praise Mike Pence for his behavior, you ought to include the fact that Mike Pence does not believe, however unfair he thinks Donald Trump's interpretation of the law was, that it was unlawful. And finally, let me just say one more thing. This was all based on what's called the Electoral Count Act, which was passed in 1880, which sets forth the process for certification of the election. Donald Trump's lawyers argued that it gave Vice President Mike Pence the authority to refuse to accept certain states. It was a novel point of view, an unusual point of view. It's never been used before. But in December of last year, Congress changed the law for the first time in 140 years to make it, quote unquote, clear, close quote, that Donald Trump's argument was not a valid argument. Well, if it's not a valid argument and it was completely out of whole cloth, why do you need to change the law to make it crystal clear that he couldn't make that argument? So all I'm saying is lawyers make unpopular arguments. They've done it for years. They always will. I mean, look at the lawyers who defended Dred Scott, claiming that he was a free man. That was a novel theory at the time. It was not adopted by the Supreme Court or by much of America. Lawyers make novel arguments all the time. Some of them become accepted, some of them do not. I just don't understand how John Eastman, co-conspirator number 2, who's a friend of mine, I've known him for a number of years, is now facing disbarment here in California because he made arguments that were not accepted by the courts. Completely unfair.
Well, it sounds like Trump is going to use that as his excuse that I was advised by Eastman to do A, B, and C, and therefore that's why I'm in this position. So he's sort of putting the blame on him. But you are saying that you accept that the election itself, the process of the election, the ballot counting, the vote counting, and it has been called the most secure election in history in that regard. You are saying that you believe that to be true, despite the fact a recent poll said 69% of Republican or Republican-leaning voters think that it was still unfairly elected and that Joe Biden is not the legitimate president.
I still think it was an unfair election, but I believe that what Mike Pence did was the appropriate thing to do. You know, I watched CNN this morning, and I watched them going off on how the 69% of Republicans don't believe that the election was fair. You know that 78% of Democrats believe 2016 that the Russian interference altered the outcome of the election, according to a Gallup poll.
They didn't storm the Capitol, though, right?
Well, that's because Hillary wasn't president. If your argument is that Hillary's supporters are lawful, let me just remind you what happened in November.
But they could argue that the election was stolen from them, and therefore we're storming the Capitol, yeah?
May I finish, please? Hillary was not president in 2020. If your argument is that her supporters would have just taken the results quietly, I will submit to you that in November of 2016, when Donald Trump won the election, there were protests all over America on the part of Hillary supporters. Many of these protests were violent, and hundreds of people were arrested. And my point is that
they didn't try to stop the count, though. They didn't try to stop the transfer of power.
Actually, Hillary did file a lawsuit. She joined the lawsuut.
A lawsuit is not storming the Capitol building while Congress is in session. That's not the same thing.
Chris, I accept that the riot was unlawful. It shouldn't have taken place. The people that were involved in it should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But I don't blame Donald Trump for causing it. I don't think Donald Trump created an insurrection. And let me just finish this last point. This is very important.
Sure.
Jay Johnson testified under oath. Not a single vote tally was changed by the Russians in 2016. Not one. 66% of Democrats, however, believe the Russian interference, quote, altered the outcome of the election and changed vote tallies, close quote, even though Jay Johnson testified under oath that they didn't. Now, my point is, Hillary for 4 years referred to Trump as illegitimate. You have John Lewis calling him illegitimate. Kamala Harris called him illegitimate. Former President Jimmy Carter called him illegitimate. So to the point where more Democrats believe 2016 was stolen, the Republicans feel that way about 2020, yet nobody accuses them of undermining our democracy. They had a First Amendment right to make these complaints. So did Donald Trump.
Larry, shifting from the election, another big issue the country is voting on when it comes to voting for whether it's city or state or national leaders is the topic of abortion following the Dobbs decision overturning Roe v. Wade. What is your stance on abortion?
Let me just say this, and before I answer your question, and it's obviously a legitimate question, is I need to get on that debate stage the 23rd of this month. It's the first GOP debate. And to do that, I've got to have 40,000 individual donations. And the donation can be as small as $1. I'm urging all your listeners, even if you want somebody else, you want me talking about some of the issues that Amy and Chris and I have talked about so far, get me on that debate stage, $1, LarryElder.com. As to abortion, I believe that life begins at conception. I also believe, however, that this is an issue that should be done on a state-by-state basis. I've argued for years that Roe v. Wade never should have been taken up by the Supreme Court. It should be a matter for states, and every state is going to handle this individually. I will also add, however, that it is rare for me to get a Democrat. I tried to get Governor Gavin Newsom, against whom I ran in the recall election, to tell me at what point does he believe a pregnancy has gone so far that it constitutes homicide. And you can't get many Democrats on the record to say that. Bernie Sanders, during a debate one time, said it's up to the woman. Well, if it's up to the woman, that means that Kermit Gosnell, the abortion doctor in Philadelphia, who's right now behind bars, is a political prisoner because he performed late-term abortions that women wanted him to perform. He was prosecuted and found guilty of violating Pennsylvania's late-term abortion laws. So, and it's not like the pro-life people are not talking the talk and walking the walk. There are thousands of pregnancy centers all over America where there are resources available for women for education, for job training, for housing. And so they do have options other than the option, in my opinion, to terminate a pregnancy.
All right, Larry Elder, we do appreciate your time. Thank you for giving us a few moments this afternoon here on KMOX. Thank you.
It has been my pleasure. Don't forget LarryElder.com. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
That is presidential hopeful Larry Elder running on the Republican ticket. And again, going up against the likes of Governor Christie and Nikki Haley and, of course,
Tim Scott, Ron DeSantis.
Ron
Asa
DeSantis.
Hutchinson.
And who's that one guy? Donald Trump. Also running against Donald Trump, which I think there's a recognition, and you can kind of tell talking to Larry that, look, they know that they all have a huge uphill battle. And probably if you ask them in private, like, hey, you think you're going to win here?
As Vegas
I think
would
they
call
know.
it. It's
They know.
Trump versus the field.
Oh, that's, it's not great. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We have another pair of Cardinals tickets to give away, and we're going to do that soon. I'll let you know when on KMOX.
If you're thinking about doing a little home improvement, especially one that you don't have to do the installation, think about getting a Beam central vacuum system. It's the kind of home upgrade that really checks all the boxes, because when you compare and evaluate, a Beam system makes so much sense. There's a reason why nearly every high-end home in St. Louis is built with a Beam. A Beam vacuum system is very smart because it adds value to your home. Beam whole house vacuum system starts at just $11.99, including installation. And it's an investment, not just in your home, but in a healthy lifestyle. Every time you vacuum, you'll save time because a Beam is more efficient and 5 times stronger, so you'll clean better in less time. And since you're getting all the deep down dirt and grit, vacuuming with a Beam will keep your rugs and carpets looking brand new for many years to come. So you get value from your Beam system every day. Call Beam of St. Louis today. 314-567-1515 or online at beamstl.com.
Beam's home sale is starting early. Every system for every size home now on sale.
RENNER, forward and back. Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Excited to share with you about Renner Garage Door. Spells the same thing, forward and backward. RENNER. Formerly the St. Louis Door Company, Renner's been selling, servicing, and installing garage doors in St. Louis since 1966. So if you need to repair or replace your garage door or opener, Renner does that. So call Renner or check out their special deals at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, the garage door company that does. Giddy up!
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group can help you develop a retirement income stream that fits your idea of the perfect retirement. Call 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC. The All Financial Group and Retirement Wealth Advisors are not affiliated. The All Financial Group is a financial services firm that offers a broad array of products and services, including life insurance and annuities, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Come out to the brand new Rally House location at Brentwood Point this Friday for giveaways and good times with none other than play-by-play announcer Joey Zanaboni.
Left foot cross, what's Joe Kitty? Bocce ball loose, inside and flick it!
Be sure to get there early and see Joey from 3:30 till 5:30, leading up to the player appearance starting at 5:30 with City Defenders, Tim Parker, and Lucas Bartlett. It's a great time waiting this Friday at the brand new Rally House at Brentwood Point, kicking off at 3:30.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. YourEyeDoc.com, 314-966-5000.
Hey, Debbie Monterey here. Before you sell your home, you should know what it's worth in today's market. Call Gloria Liu. She'll tell you. With 20 plus years of experience, Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty has been successfully selling homes in your area for more money than the average agent. Gloria has multiple selling options that give you, the seller, the power of how and when your home is sold. A few of Gloria's options include bringing multiple cash offers from her substantial pool of investors, a zero commission program, and don't forget Gloria's guaranteed sale program. How can Gloria guarantee the sale of your home? Because Gloria's database of buyers is huge, and she's so confident that she can sell your home that she can put her own money where her mouth is. So just call Gloria today, your local St. Louis real estate expert, at 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Hey guys, Glover here for B&B Theaters in Wentzville. Old friends of mine, good people, great theater, been there many times. It is the home to Screen X, the world's first multi-projection cinema platform, showing the movie on the massive grand screen in front and on the 2 auditorium side walls. Couple that with heated leather reclining seats and the incredible action of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning for a summer blockbuster that can't be beat. Tickets are online at bbtheaters.com.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neovitin Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neovitin Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Dearbergs.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. No one should be injured or be the victim of assault when using a rideshare service. These companies need to be held accountable.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Manchester Coin and Jewelry is the estate buyers. They buy collectibles from vintage toy trains, musical instruments, military, and more. Located on Manchester Road west of 141. It's Manchester Coin and Jewelry.
It's wonderful. It's incredible.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
All right, we got tickets to give away to the Cardinals game tomorrow night, a pair of tickets, and it's going to go to caller number 5, 314-436-7900. Best of luck to you. We will have 3 more pairs of tickets to give away tomorrow. So you're going to want to tune into the show between 10 and 1 tomorrow here on KMOX. Anyway, somebody's mad that I debated. Says text message says you shouldn't debate somebody you're interviewing. We all know your side. No, you're supposed to push back when somebody makes a claim that doesn't sound true, or to keep them on topic. That's how it's done.
On topic, or if the answers go too long, it can serve as an effective filibuster, and you don't get to ask a follow-up.
Yeah, so we can't just let him give a 15-minute answer. He got plenty of time to talk. So if you want to hear the Larry the Larry Elder interview, it's on KMOX.com and the Odyssey app. Dave Glover shows next.
Your best friend deserves the best care. That's why the veterinarians at the Animal Medical Center of Mid-America provide state-of-the-art care. As the largest veterinary practice